even have that lever.
Happy Alien Day, and should we mosh while I put the song on?
Yes.
Go for it. Do your best moshing.
Been around the world and I can't find my baby. I don't know when, I don't know why he's
I can't do that too long. And I'm over 40.
Episode 3.
Yeah, episode 3.
On your marks.
3 or 4?
I think it's the third. We've lost track already.
Yeah. 3. I reckon it is 3, yeah. I think it's the third sit down. So yeah. Welcome anyway.
Yeah, cool. Today, so it's Aliens and Predator. We've compiled a list of all the 13 movies and we've worked out what the internet rankings are. Because the internet is what counts. Yeah. People's opinions don't count, it's the internet.
Yeah, it's what people want.
Yeah. So you've got your list.
Like the Bible.
Yeah, you've got your ranking, like the Bible. So you've got your rankings, I've got my rankings. We'll see how ours measure up to the internet rankings, but we'll do it lowest first. These movies cover the whole spectrum of the medium. You know, top left you've got Alien right the way through to, you know, you've got amazing cinematic masterpieces right the way down to
absolute shit.
Yeah, straight to video garbage.
Yeah, I think at least 2 of them should have went to straight to DVD
at
or
least
like that. Yeah,
there's at least 2 movies here which you would think, if you didn't know they were theatrical releases, you would assume that they were straight to video. Oddly enough, there's one movie on this list which we'll get to later. One of these movies did not get a theatrical release
at all,
and we'll pop up. I think you know which one, but when it pops up, we can discuss that because I think it's very fucking important. Oh, sorry for any swearing.
What's your profanity?
We've had some notable notes about the language we use, so yeah, we apologise and fuck you off. Yeah, so.
Should we make a start?
Yeah, let's crack on.
So, in 13th place, don't be looking.
I can't see it anyway. I've got a bit of a chest infection, so if I sound a bit groggy or lethargic, I'm just feeling the effects.
He's been licking toads. So, in last place, this is going to be no surprise to anybody. Aliens vs Predator Requiem.
Really? The second one? Yeah.
Yeah?
I've got it quite low in mine, but it's not in last place.
What have you got in last place?
I've got Covenant.
Yeah. I've got Alien vs Predator.
And it's not because I thought it was a shit film. I just didn't like it as much as the other ones. Any of these movies in this ranking, I don't think they're awful. They're not like they should be scrapped, they should have been rewritten, this, that and the other. I just don't like it as much as the other ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll talk about Covenant when it comes up. So what did you like about Alien vs Predator Requiem? Because I've got to say a lot higher on my list, but we'll get to that in a bit.
I think it combined both elements of the first 2 movies.
Yeah.
It had almost like the battle-weary soldier element to it. You know, returning from war.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything
going on, and a little bit of a backstory to the actual predators as well. That you pick up from the first AVP movie.
Yeah. I mean, the Predator in this movie is really good. I mean, I love this movie. It's the lowest ranking.
Are these the ones that are classed as berserkers, or are these the hunters?
I'm not sure.
Because there's 3 different classes of predator, isn't there? Or kaiji. Is it kaiji?
Yauja.
So there's feral, hunter and berserker. There's 3 types.
This must be a hunter because this guy's like methodical. He's trying to erase all the evidence of the aliens, and he's trying to be discreet, even though he manages to skin people and just go on a rampage himself. It's very weird. It is a stupid fucking film,
but it gives you that, like,
it's fun.
What are the terms? It's like that heel, the bad guy and the good guy, but the bad guy's not actually a bad guy. He's a bit of a good guy. Yeah,
I was expecting at some point the Predator to team up with the humans again, because that's a common thread throughout the expanded universe. It's not that.
But I think when Predator finds out figures out that he's met as a match, regards to what he can learn and what he can evolve himself and pass back to the rest of them.
Yeah.
He kind of just has to go, alright, I'll have to just deal with what I've got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But, yeah. It got criticised when it came out. I mean, everyone always goes on about the fact that it's too dark, and I mean, it is a dark movie.
But aliens.
Yeah, I mean,
how dark that is.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of scenes in that. Everything's got a sort of blue wash over it. But I think in terms of the way the sets are lit, you can't really see what's going on in certain scenes, and I get that, but. These costumes, they're just men in rubber suits. You need to light these costumes the right way, and I think they light them the right way. Everything looks slimy and grimy and black and
I think it needs to be dark enough that you just catch slight glimpses of either the sliminess,
or just
sheen,
the
black,
or just the shape of the head and the shoulder tubes and things like that. I think it's lit really well. I mean, it is dark, but that's just I think it's just a creative choice. You know, it's just the aesthetic. It's not like it's. I mean, turn your settings up on your telly.
Contrast. You know, there's buttons on your remotes that you can change the settings on your TV.
Hellraiser was the same. The new Hellraiser movie. That's very dark, but that looks to the point where it's muggy. That looks like it's some kind of. At first, you think it's like a. You think it's your TV at first.
I climbed through a fish tank.
Yeah, it's very dark, but I changed the settings on the TV and it got a bit better. But again, it's just an aesthetic choice. Yeah. But I think this movie is there's less enjoyable films on this list. But I mean, it's this rating is rock bottom. You know, by the way, these rankings these are like amalgamated. I've got an average from Rotten Tomatoes critical score, Rotten Tomatoes audience score, and the IMDb. And Metacritic. So across the 4 platforms, I've amalgamated an average. So this is across the board. This gets very low rankings. And I don't think the acting's that bad. The cast are okay.
It gave me a bit of a Scream with aliens in.
Yeah,
from the first Scream, not like the later ones.
The small town America elements. Yeah. I think that's jarring for a few people. I didn't mind it. I thought it was something a little bit fresh and a bit new.
Almost a nod to like the old small town slasher movies.
Yeah, or this reminds me of The Blob or 30 Days a Night. You know, just that small town. Yeah. Just campy 1980s sort of horror movies where there's a monster on the loose and the sheriff doesn't know what to do, and it gradually escalates. You know, very quickly. There's
always that call in the National Guard.
Yeah, at the end, and they get fucking wiped out in this, don't they? They get slaughtered. There's loads of gore in this, and I love it. It's very gory.
Was it the sound bites that they use from Aliens?
Yeah.
When the aliens start attacking them.
Yeah, it gets a bit. Yeah, it gets. They overdo that a little bit in that scene, but it's a bit of fan service. But it's before fan service became the mainstream thing.
I was going to say nostalgia bukkake, but we can't use the word bukkake no more. So
no. Or maybe just refer to it as getting cum all over your face.
Yeah, nostalgia.
Cream fixtures. I don't know. I'm going to have to bleep all this out.
Yeah, it's fine.
But what
we'll do a bleep version and a non-bleep version.
Fuck that.
We'll bleep over it with the alien screams.
Yeah, we'll dub over it with sounds of porn. So you can't hear us say rude words.
Yeah.
But back to the movie.
Not safe for work.
One final thing on this movie. I have notes, by the way, that I haven't even looked at yet. The setting this is in. Remember last week when we were talking about the fact that all these films are filmed in the same very similar place? Yeah, the backlots. Yeah. So we had Gremlins, we had Back to the Future, and they all looked like Bedford Falls from It's a Wonderful Life, and then we managed to tie into all the same universe. You know, the Bedford Falls multiverse.
Did you make the connections?
Almost. I reckon, because this looks just like Bedford Falls again, it's just the same generic American town. I think Robert Wayland is a descendant of Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life, but the alternate version, the alternate reality where George Bailey doesn't exist, and it's Pottersville.
No. Father.
Are you running a business or a charity war?
So we'll deep dive this shit out of this, I'm telling you.
Yeah, definitely. I think so this ties into the It's a Wonderful Life multiverse.
And we're just waiting just waiting for someone to make a comment on how we can connect it all to the Human Centipede. So please let us know in the comments below.
I don't know. It's, I mean, the sense. I mean, the people are all connected.
They definitely are.
Anus to mouth. So, It's a Wonderful Life and Gremlins and Back to the Future and Aliens are now all connected, arse to mouth.
Yes.
We just need to keep adding arses and
Definitely.
mouths, don't we?
Definitely. And I think we can probably sink in, I don't know.
Oh, that's the wrong word usage.
The original Shaft, maybe.
Oh, God. So, yeah, so that's number 13. So, next, which again is going to be no shock to fucking anyone because this movie is fucking dog shit. The Predator.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that the one with
Olivia Munn and directed by Shane Black and written by Fred Decker.
Oh, the
recent one,
yes.
not the one before.
The one with Michael Keegan Cain and Thomas Jane.
Yeah, Thomas Jane should have been the lead in this movie because the main guy's terrible.
Wasn't it meant to be someone else? Wasn't it meant to be Charlie Hunnam?
They look very similar.
And I don't know what happened, but Charlie Hunnam had to pull out for whatever reason, and he ended up bringing in this guy who looks like...
He was probably in
guy
a fucking
from
Guy Ritchie movie or something, wasn't he?
Oh, was it the guy from Final Destination? He looks like that kid who plays the lead role in Final Destination.
Oh, him! I know who you mean, but yeah, it's not him, but they look very similar. Yeah,
But,
it's...
Yeah, you know what, as much as... You know, he's put it as 13. I haven't got it. Sorry, 12.
Sorry, what was your number 12?
My number 12 was Prometheus.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
See, my number 12 was The Predator. I've synced up with the internet on this one. But so yeah, what did you think of The Predator?
I liked it.
I did.
It had that like
It's terrible, but it's fun.
band of mechs, like the first Predator. But obviously, Shane Black being the writer, he had to kind of almost parody the first movie.
Yeah,
give it that.
There's a lot of very strange nods,
you
isn't
know,
there?
the little nod to each of the original characters.
They all had their little trinket, didn't they, at the end, and they all had their quirk. One of them had Tourette's, but it was only Tourette's that made you swear, which is not a thing. I know people with Tourette's, and there's more to it than just.
And again, they threw
Hollywood autism in.
Hollywood autism, yeah.
Again, as a character trait.
And
this
needs
time,
to be in.
yeah. But this time, what was the last Hollywood autism that we encountered? Made the children be able to count how many teeth a dinosaur's got just by looking at its face.
And I'm pretty sure it was the same child.
No, different actor.
Are you sure?
Just as annoying, but no, 100% different actors.
Jurassic World. And
Yeah.
It was the same kid.
No, it's 100% different actor.
They look the same.
You want to see him now? Oh, he's grown up.
Has he?
Yeah. He's hunky now.
Is he?
Yeah. But this
stupid haircut he had.
it gets worse. He's got a man bun now.
Oh Jesus Christ!
He's in Insidious Red Door. He's in college now. That's how old we are. But yeah, the Hollywood autism. This means if you've got autism now, if you're an autistic child in this universe, you can read Predator language and you can fly Predator ships
and interface it with your own home computer. Apparently
that's the thing. Yeah, we haven't seen that since Independence Day, have we?
Oh shit! Yeah, when he used an old MacBook. Yeah. To interface with but that was Jeff Goldblum.
I couldn't even sync a fucking iPod to my Windows laptop 10 years ago. So how the fuck can this kid do that? It's obscene. It's so bad.
Maybe you need Hollywood autism to.
I wish I had Hollywood autism because I'd be able to go on so many adventures.
And today, the date of the recording is actually National Autism Awareness Day. And we're not making fun of anyone with autism. I've got 2 kids with autism, so it's quite close to me. But what we are taking the piss out of is the way Hollywood portrays it, and the way they have portrayed it in the past. It's very detrimental to people with autism because it's misleading, completely pointless. Okay, so Hollywood, stop it.
Yeah, fuck you, Hollywood. Stop making shit films like this fucking Predator film. But it was written by Fred Decker, who he hasn't done fuck all since he did Monster Squad and Night of the Creeps.
Oh my god, Monster Squad was amazing.
It was great, it was fun, and there was a very specific tone to it. But this film, I mean, it's fun, and it's very funny as well. Some of the performances are great. You know, I do like all the characters it just doesn't mesh together with anything.
When
And the
you think
story
back,
is terrible.
when you look back at Predator and the Monster Squad, the fucking stories are the same. Think about
They
it.
are. That's actually true. Oh God, I can feel it. I can feel it. A whole separate episode
Can
coming
you see
on.
the parody?
100%. No, it's yeah, you're right.
Because they take on in Predator, they take on the friendly Predator, don't they? And they bring it on in Monster Squad. They take on the Frankenstein, don't they? Frankenstein monster.
Oh God, yeah, they do.
Oh my God,
Wolfman's got nards.
Dickhead, what have you
The
done?
Youcher's got nards.
Basically, that's all they've done. Oh my God.
So what else is there to talk about with the Predator? So we've got the logic of it, which is ridiculous because it comes to Earth to help us fight the predators, but then immediately starts killing people for some reason. The ending is a reshoot. The ending is completely different. Do you remember the pictures from on the set when it came out? There was predators in a tank shooting like a gun and stuff like that. And do you remember the concept artwork that came out for the end scene?
Oh God, no. What's that?
You know the fucking predator suit that comes out of that?
Oh, the
Predator killer.
the Predator killer suit, yeah, the drone.
Oh
thing.
God, that was the concept. I don't know whether it was built, but the concept artwork, that was a sleep pod, a hypersleep chamber for Ripley. It had Ripley's name tag on. The figure inside had a mask on, and a name badge was Ripley.
I remember it now. Yeah.
There's also another concept artwork, very, very similar, and instead of opening the pod, it says the name on the outside of the pod. And guess whose name that was?
Was it Dutch by any chance?
No, it was Newt. They were going to bring Newt back in one of the. I don't know on what capacity. I don't know whether it was going to be some kind of Easter egg, but apparently there's concept artwork for
That would have had to have been some mad universe rewrite that.
You're going into time travel territory. I mean, that would work in this sort of movie logic because it's so fucking cartoonish. But for the rest of the franchise, when you look at this franchise as a whole, as one
It
huge
would have
story,
broke it even more, wouldn't it?
That's how far we've strayed.
I've recently started rereading the comics. And
I mean, even for the comic, that would be a bit of a fucking stretch, wouldn't it?
you were telling me the other week about the original when they released the originals in what 93 was it 94?
Oh, 89.
89.
Yeah.
And the original 3 stories, it was about what happened to Newton Hicks. And then when they rewrote it, they changed the name to, what was it?
They changed the names to Wilkes and Billy for the novelizations a few years later, because I think there was some kind of legal wrangling with the movie rights and with Dark Horse and with the book publishers, something convoluted and petty.
It's in this one here. It's the first story in this one's brilliant. Check it out and read it.
Yeah, it's great because it continues obviously their saga. Ripley comes back into it because I think they get separated. But yeah, there's plenty. The expanded universe is great, but of all the things for them to pick from,
If they're going to do something like that, they need to be able to tie it back in, and they need to be able to justify tying it back in at some point within the timeline, like they did in the novels. But
yeah, but
if they're just going to throw it in there at the end, like the way they did,
it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know what the purpose of it was. Maybe it was just some kind of marketing ploy.
possibly.
I can't see them actually.
It could be the red
through
coats all
with
over
that.
again.
Oh God, yeah. But like I say, it never made it into the final cut. They changed it to be the Predator suit, and I don't know which is worse because that Predator suit,
Yeah, it was like
that
a
entire
movie,
sequence,
wasn't
his kid is now working in this space agency, secret government lab. The fucking kid's about 10.
Yeah.
90 minutes before, the kid's playing with a little spaceship toy, crashing it into Jenga blocks, going pew, pew, pew.
And now he works for the government.
It's just
Department
it's
of
terrible.
Defence,
But again, that'd work if it was Goonies, but not a movie that's tied to the Predator and Alien saga.
Oh God. Yeah, but there was a couple of good bits in it. There was a nod to Gary Busey's character from Predator 2. It brought Jake Busey in.
His last name is Keys, yeah, so I thought that was great.
And then they've got the display cabinets where they've got all the original artifacts.
You've got the shoulder cannon from
Yeah.
Alien vs Predator Requiem. You've got the tail spear from the first AVP movie, which was so that was a nice nod. So it's acknowledging them. It's acknowledging them movies. It also acknowledges.
It's almost giving it it's canonising it, isn't it?
Yeah, because it acknowledges Predator 1, Predator 2 and the 2 AVP movies. It doesn't say anything about Predators, but there's a slight tangent. I think in chronological order and release order as well, Predators and then the Predator came out. Predators came out in 2009, 10, 11, I'm not too sure. But I think if you watch these in some kind of timeline order, if you watch these in timeline order, I think watching The Predator and then watching Predators makes more sense before you go on to Prometheus and Covenant. Because can you imagine if you watched The Predators? What Predator? The Predator and Predators. Fucking hell. Number your fucking movies, you bastards.
Just give us a 1 to 5.
I know.
Easier.
Yeah, so Predators, I always thought it was slightly futuristic because of the weaponry. I was wrong. But I've started, when I watch these in chronological order now, you know, in a timeline,
yeah.
I always watch The Predator and then Predators, because can you imagine the shift in tone? If you watched The Predator, what we're talking about now, and then watch Prometheus, can you imagine the shift in tone?
God, yeah.
It'd be like getting punched in the stomach.
If your mom's vagina were a video game, it'd be rated E for everyone.
If you don't stop it, there won't be any home to go back to.
Predator's cooler, right? Fuck yeah.
The trick, William Potter, is not minding that it hurts.
This fucking film's just, it's a comedy. It's a ridiculous, stupid fucking comedy. So if you watch that and then you watch Prometheus, which is just this dreary, drab, miserable fucking slog. Even, I mean, it's visually fantastic, but it's, you know, can you imagine watching that and this and then that and trying to tie it together as some kind of franchise? It'd just be nonsense. So I think if you watch Predators in between The Predator and
yeah.
Prometheus,
I think also as well, if you watch
a bit easier.
Predators, if you watch Predators after The Predator, you can almost see where The Predator's gone, listen, we can't beat them on their ground, we have to take them to a different planet.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense to go off-world.
Yeah, you have to see if you can beat them somewhere else.
Yeah, and it brings it, in terms of of its tone, it brings it back down to earth a little bit more, but gradually. But so that's all I've got to say about that fucking film. The Internet 11 is Alien vs Predator. I had Predators as my 11.
Okay.
What did you have for your 11?
I had AVP Requiem.
Oh right, so we flipped it.
Yeah.
Right, so yes, so the first Alien vs Predator movie. There's a lot to talk about this one because it's terrible. I think on a filmmaking level, it's so ugly, and this is one for me that stands out as being very, very straight to video esque.
I think it could have easily gone. Yeah.
I mean, it does not look like a theatrical film. It
would have been a shame, and I think the story where they've had to bring the strong female role in to tie in that alien universe, but still keep an element of the Predator universe in there, rewriting the story almost, bringing the xenomorphs to Earth to battle him on a neutral battleground. Yeah, you know, it's almost tying in the predators going off world to have the battle.
Yeah, you know, I like the story. I like the origin story.
The origin story is fantastic, and it's probably the more believable origin story
as opposed to Prometheus.
100%. Oh my god!
We'll get onto that later.
Yeah,
but
I could go off for days about that. The way they flip the script completely.
But as an origin story, it does work better. I mean, I get
these
mixed up.
It works more like an original 80s style origin story rather than like the newfangled version.
Yeah.
Where they've used more of a futuristic based Earth into like a more further future exploration type thing.
Yeah, so as an origin story, I think it's fine. There's elements to it that I do like. I like some of the sequences. I just hate the characters and I hate the actors. I think it's really, really poorly written because it's obviously going to be poorly written and poorly made because it's Paul W.S. Anderson, and he's a terrible filmmaker. I can't believe he still gets work. I mean,
has he done anything notable that I might remember?
Event Horizon, which I love Event Horizon, but I love that because he had a good cast. He had a good script and he had a very good cinematographer and very good designers. His actual when you look at it as when you watch it now, it hasn't aged that well, but it's still fun. It's still great, and it looks great.
It still holds that like space horror.
Yeah. But the direction is clunky, and that's because of Paul W.S. Anderson. He's terrible. He's just an absolute hack. I can't believe he still gets work. He did Resident Evil as well, and again, that's
which one?
Most of them.
Oh my god!
And I mean, that's
the original ones with Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, just horrible, cheap, nasty, early 2000s garbage. And
I think when you take that early 2000s computer game to screen kind of genre, the earlier ones could have been mistaken for quite good. Whereas looking back now with more experienced eyes, you look at them and you go, fucking dog shit.
Yeah, they've aged terribly. They've aged like cottage cheese on a windowsill.
In the sun.
Oh my god. In the middle of summer, that's just been pissed on by a cat. That's how. That's the culinary equivalent of this film. Cat piss filled cottage cheese. And I'm not fucking. I'm not bleeping that out. You can fuck off. The bulky predators, for some reason, why are they
classed as the berserkers?
They look like bodybuilders, and it's fucking stupid. They are so overly done, and watching them, just watching them sort of run in slow motion with their oversized feet, and the dreadlocks that are even longer this time. You're going down those horribly overlit, cardboard corridors. It's horrible. The whole film is just
in
horrible.
sequence as well.
Oh,
like that wide angle of them all run towards you.
Yeah, the production value is horrible on this film. Everything looks like just everything looked like polystyrene that's been spray painted to look like rocks.
Yeah,
and everything glistens like it's
like they've done everything on green screen.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, there's a lot of green screen, but there's just a lot of very
props kind of thing.
Yeah, very cheap sets. They're meant to be in a pyramid. And every time things move, it just looks obviously they've got the two design runners
Star Wars with
pushing, which is fine. But I mean, this movie it's the third highest grossing out of all of them. Really, this made a shit ton of money, and I'll tell you why. Because it was PG-13, and it obviously the audience is bigger because there's barely any gore in it. I mean, I don't love gore. Obviously, I'm not a weirdo, but do you know what I mean? You need to see some kind of. There's a few blood splashes.
You want the blood, the alien blood, the green blood, and you want the outer blood as well.
Yeah, you want to see.
Obviously, you don't want to see too much.
It didn't need to be super gory, but you don't need to make these films a PG-13.
No,
that was really, really cynical of the studio to do that. It's the quickest way to play it safe. It's just the easy option. But have you seen the unrated cut? There's an unrated cut of Alien vs Predator.
I think I have.
There's like 8 minutes of extra footage in, which is all character stuff, and it makes the story make a bit more sense. That's fine, but the gore that's added in, it's like plugins. Oh, no. It looks like it's been almost like when you use a sticker on like a social media video or something like that. It's it's just like this really, really bright red blood that drips from drips from wounds and things like that, and it just looks cheap. Because it stands out because you've got these
like corn syrup and curry.
So you've got these darkly lit sets, and everything's like snowy and white, and then all of a sudden you've just got this splash of red, and it just looks like it's been done on MS Paint. Like that Spooderman drawing.
Oh, no.
Remember, you've seen that on the internet, haven't you? The
Spooderman.
Yeah, which is part of canon now.
Yeah.
You see Spooderman in the new Across
the
Spider-Verse movie, which again is a far better cinematic universe than this one. I'd pay good money to see Spooderman in a fucking Predator movie.
The fact as well that they tied in Spider-Pig from The Simpsons as well. Spider-Pig.
It's just glorious. I love it.
Why
can't we talk about those movies instead?
Okay.
Yeah, let's just our next one can be Spider-Man. let's wrap up this quick and talk about Spider-Man.
Because that again is another entangled web of, no pun intended, of multiverse craziness.
Well, I mean,
but easily explained than this.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, the MCU, well, Disney own Fox now, don't they? So these are Marvel. Yeah, these are Disney properties.
Yes,
so
does that mean Ripley's a Disney princess?
And
or
so
a Disney queen?
I think she's a princess.
Be a princess.
And so is the Alien Queen. The Alien Queen is now the
queen.
Is she a Disney queen or a Disney princess?
She'd be the Disney queen. She'd be the queen of all queens because she'd take the piss out of that fucking bitch with the mirror.
Queen's got sass. That poor character in Aliens, that poor alien queen, she was a single mum on a planet she wasn't used to, and then these bastard men.
And then the kids come along to help her out.
Yeah, it's just she's
a family.
She's a misunderstood character, and I think in
Just
terms of
home.
History will correct the wrongs of our generation.
There's a character in it, AVP, and I don't really want to give him any stick because I really love him as an actor. Tommy Flanagan, and he plays the token.
He's in everything. Yeah,
token
he's like
job.
Yeah, he's the token bad guy in everything, isn't he?
I just think he's a fantastic actor, but he's not like Hollywood fantastic. He's more like B-movie fantastic. If you can have a lead role for anyone, give it to Tommy Flanagan.
This is a B-movie, so he's in the.
He's just amazing, and
he's in the right place.
He plays a character in Sons of Anarchy. And I forgot his name. Chibs. He plays Chibs. And he's just brilliant as Chibs in that. But in this, you're like, where's them acting abilities gone?
Yeah,
fucking awful.
They're all very, very bad. Even what's his name from Trainspotting?
Oh,
Ewan Bremner.
Yeah, Ewan Bremner plays Budgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's okay in it, I suppose, and
he's slightly believable as his character as well.
Yeah.
Quite normal, like a normal guy.
Yeah,
and he's talking about his kids, and he's like, "Oh no, I missed something." It's like, "Oh, all you missed is the PNR." He's like, "Oh, you should have told me. I took a picture." It's like, "Oh, it's just a point of no return." It's actually,
yeah. See, little bits like that are dropped in, and which I think works. I mean, it's watchable, but I think my list. I think I've started the top half of my list is kind of me trying to be objective and measure them on a filmmaking level. The bottom half of the list is I'm measuring my own kind of enjoyment.
I think
you've done the same, but the other way round, possibly. But it'll be interesting to see how we've done. But yeah, so what did you have in 11?
For 11 I had Alien vs Predator Requiem.
I see, yeah. And then I had Predators. But yeah, so Alien vs Predator, what do you... There's nothing else to talk about really, is there? Apart from how much we hate Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yeah. If you're out there, just stop making films.
Yeah, I think the last one he made was... obviously he's done all the Resident Evil ones, but he did Pompeii with Kit Harington from Game of Thrones.
Oh God. Oh, well, speaking of Game of Thrones, there's a character in... Predators? No, not Predators. The Predator. The helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
He's from Game of Thrones. He plays...
Alfie...
Yeah.
Alfie... Alfie Allen. His
sister's... The young lady, Greyjoy.
Yeah.
Reek, yeah. Oh God, yeah. Because I'd seen, obviously, Game of Thrones before I'd seen this. And I didn't make the connection until I rewatched Game of Thrones. I was like... That's him. That's Alfie Allen.
Yeah, I think he's the only character going back to the Predator. I think he's the only character in the Predator who gets killed off camera. Everyone else gets fucking annihilated in glorious HD. No, he doesn't fall off the ship. That's Needles. That's the Latin American chap. And he falls. He gets his legs chopped off by the shield and falls, and it's hilarious. It's very unintentionally funny. I thought it was fucking. I pissed myself. The dude who shot himself in the head can't get in, and I think he's about to fall off the ship, but then instead of sacrificing himself in a really sort of powerful and emotional way, he just throws himself into the plane engine and shoots at it and laughs and puts his finger up to the ship. It's fucking nonsense. But Alfie Allen gets we see him get his arm shot off by the he's a sniper, and we see him get his arm shot off by the big Predator. And I think he gets picked up, and then we just hear him scream, and then that's it. But then the rest of them just get absolutely torn to shreds.
A bit like Billy.
Yeah.
In Predator.
Yeah.
You don't see him get killed.
That's another little nod that Shane Black couldn't resist putting in
God,
there.
it's terrible for it.
But
Yeah.
It just reminds us how good the first one is and how terrible that one is. But anyway, sorry.
Especially if he's that's a parody, most of it.
Parody, I mean, this is a fucking McDonald's Happy Meal version of Predator. So anyway, so moving on the internet ranking number 10 is one that's made me very, very angry because I fucking love this film. This is Predator 2.
Really?
Predator 2 is
They
number
put it
10.
that far down?
Yeah. This movie gets really, really badly reviewed. I personally love it. It's not perfect, but I think it's a good little sequel. I think it does enough.
Did you know who they were originally going to use as the main character?
Was it going to be Dutch's brother?
It was going to be Dutch's brother.
Yeah, like the Concrete Jungle graphic novel.
It was going to be Patrick Swayze.
I remember reading that years ago. Is that true?
I've read it on a couple of sources.
That
Maybe two or three sources.
Fantastic. Patrick Swayze in Predator 2. Oh, that would be my fucking cup of tea. That.
But I don't think Danny Glover.
That might be the best. That might be
Danny
the best
Glover,
80s movie ever.
Danny Glover did it well.
He did. No, he's a great character. I think the characters in this are great. I think the story's fresh enough to not have to just be a repetition of the first movie. They do enough difference, and I love the setting as well. Because when I first watched this as a kid, it was when I just watched the Terminator and RoboCop, and I remember. And this is sort of set in the near future, isn't it?
In
1997, it's set.
LA.
In LA, yeah, and it's scary. You know, it's very,
got that,
very
like,
bleak.
Smog element to it.
Yeah, almost sort of dystopian vibes, and it fits in really well when you watch some of them.
It picks up on a lot of social climates at the time as well.
100%,
and racial
inequality and racial tensions. You've got the
Rastafarians.
The Jamaican gang and the Colombians. And it's a grim setting,
but it works really well.
It works really well
because obviously, in most of the films that we've seen with Predator in, you see them in either a jungle or you see them in space kind of thing, or you see them in like a domestic surrounding. But to put them in this environment where there's so much violence already there, it's almost testing the Predator's grit. Yeah,
because it's not an easy place to.
It doesn't suit his environment. His natural like abilities to blend in. Yeah, I like it. It's So what number was this? Number 10. This was number 10, and again, I can't figure out what people don't like about it, because I've heard a few people say, "Oh, it's shit." It's like, well, why is it shit? What element to it is? Out of the first two movies, out of Predator and Predator 2, I'll always go for Predator, but I don't know that movie because it's got that macho element to it, that more military style, whereas a cop drama with a predator in doesn't it didn't fit my 13-year-old brain at the time, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think because the first one it's almost a perfect movie, so you were always going to have a massive mountain to climb doing a sequel, but I think they did it in just the right way. Yeah, definitely. I think now as a more mature adult, so you can understand it more and you can see more of what's actually going on there. The social commentary side of it, you can appreciate that more. Definitely, and you can go, oh wow, it's actually a lot better. But I don't think the internet rankings are looking at it like that. Definitely not morally objective. I think people are looking at it with huge expectations, and then when it doesn't quite meet the standards of the first one, yeah, it's like you've got to appreciate it for what it is. You know, just early 90s. There's a scene in it as well where the Predator later on in the movie has to take his mask off through damage, and you see him wheezing because of the smog, because of the environment he's in. He's like, and you're like, sounds like me at the moment. And it's like a nod to the environment at the time. Yeah. Because when did it come out? Predator 2 was 91, I think, or 1990. 1990. Yeah. The whole ozone layer, CO2 and stuff like that, and it's just a little perfect little. Oh, look at that. Yeah, because it's grimy LA. Yeah. It's it almost has a bit of a film noir look to it, I think. Some of their clothes, some of the costume choices. Yeah. And some of the Yorkshire shirt and the trilby type hats. And some of the not trilby, sorry, fedora or Panama. Yeah. Some of the set designs are a little bit sort of Art Deco
as well, and it kind of just, I don't know, it just gives me a bit of a film noir vibe.
Yeah, I can definitely see it.
The gritty cop drama. All this needed was like a narration, like the Blade Runner theatrical version from Danny Glover, and it would have been a film noir.
You can zoom in on like a PI office or something.
Yeah, there's a shot in his office when he's interviewing Jerry, Bill Paxton's character, and they've got the blinds down, and the blinds are casting these shadows across Danny Glover,
and like a film noir style.
Yeah, and it's really nice. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of details in this film.
All he's missing is a cigar and a glass of whiskey on his desk.
Exactly, and it is. It's a fun time. It's a nice experience to watch the film. It's fun. You don't get bored. Speaking of having fun times. Gary Busey's character in this, great character. We've seen his son in The Predator, haven't we? Yeah. Previously on the list. Gary Busey he's not doing great at the moment. Now I thought I'm horrible. I'm just a very, very miserable, cynical bastard. I thought he was a bit crazy because of drug and alcohol abuse, much like Tom Sizemore and Randy Quaid. Because Tom Sizemore's sadly passed away. He was a fucking Fruit Loop. Because of drugs and alcohol. Randy Quaid is now absolutely off his fucking tree. He hasn't shot anybody like Alec Baldwin, but it's coming, I'm sure. He's but yeah, Gary Busey. It's not because.
Wait, is it the same Randy Quaid from
Independence Day?
Independence Day,
Christmas vacation.
Yeah,
shit is full. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's completely crazy. But yeah, Gary Busey, I thought it was because of drugs and alcohol, but it's not. He had a motorbike accident and now he's only got like half his brain left.
Fuck off,
really. But but someone in their wisdom has given him a camera phone and a Wi-Fi password, and now he's got a podcast. He's got his own podcast.
I think I've seen him memed.
He's become
a meme.
He's become very memeable, and so I feel bad for poor Gary Busey. He's living his best life. But yeah, I thought he was a degenerate alcoholic drug abuser, but he's not. He's just got a brain injury, so that's me going to hell.
Oh god, you go to hell before that.
We've already had the Autism Day disclaimer. We need a disclaimer now for brain injuries. Sorry. Gary Busey will have you on his show.
Yeah. Oh, I hope he does actually. That'd be great. Yeah. So Gary, if you're listening or watching, invite us along. We'll have a watch along with you. We talk about the movie.
Love your stuff, Gary. Right, swiftly moving on. So the internet says number 9 is Alien Resurrection.
It's a bit harsh.
I had on my list. I had Alien Resurrection. So
that's number 9.
So far I've got 2.
I originally
so for number 9 you had Alien 3.
On my original list, I did have Alien Resurrection on the original.
Why did you change
as
it?
number 9? Because
Alien Resurrection is fucking sad. But you did tell me the other day you've seen it in a different light.
I've rewatched it since, and I've looked at it in a more artistic view.
It is beautiful to look at.
It's just the way it's shot, through that like yellowing.
Yeah, it's like a sepia tone throughout the whole thing. Everything's brown and yellow,
and it's got like a Jean-Paul Gaultier kind of vibe to it, and like that French feel to it.
Yeah,
it was the director
Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Or Jean-Paul Jeunet. I'll make any corrections on the screen. But yeah, so French guy. So it's got that artistic, nice feel to it. It looks really good. It's just a terrible story.
Terrible.
Very badly acted. Acted not too bad, apart from Winona Ryder because she's terrible. But yeah, visually, this is. I've come to appreciate this film as well.
A little throwback to Sons of Anarchy. Ron Perlman is in it as well.
Of course, yeah. So that's a shared universe.
So there's 2 now. We've got
Jonah is one of Sons of Anarchy characters' relatives, maybe.
Possibly.
Could Sons of Anarchy
we've got Tommy Flanagan now from AVP, and we've got Ron Perlman in Alien Resurrection. So as we go through it, I might try and pick up any more if I come across them, but I don't think I will. But anyway, what I was saying.
Sorry to cut you off. Is Vince Vaughn in any of these films?
I hope so.
I'm sure. Yeah, maybe he'll pop up in a cameo. I don't know. But yeah, visually,
it's fantastic.
It's really, really nicely designed.
You didn't like the story?
I didn't. It's not that I didn't like the story. I just thought it was so simplistic and so derivative of all the ones previous. I mean, it didn't do anything new. It's just characters stuck on a ship and
Have
they
you
have to
read
get.
this? You've read this, haven't you?
Not all of them. I've got a lot of these individual comics.
The first story in this, there's an element where there's a secret society where they worship the xenomorph.
I think I've read that one. Yeah.
They call them the Mother, and it's almost like a cult following for them. And there's a scene in Alien Resurrection where one of the scientists is talking about the alien, and how beautiful it is and how majestic it is, and it's the perfect specimen and stuff like that. So, what year did this come out? Resurrection?
97.
97. I think that them stories were written between 93 and 94, 89 and 94.
I imagine Joss Whedon will have pulled
Yeah.
a lot of elements from the comic books he's in.
Which is good, because it's showing, historical canonisation.
Well, yeah, it just shows that the person who was, one of the makers of
Clued
it.
in at least.
Yeah, clued in. They knew the source material. They've used the source material. So you've got a director that's got a visual flair. You've got a writer that knows what he's writing about.
Yeah.
You've just got actors that don't give a shit, don't particularly want to be there. No, they're not that bad, Obviously, Ron Perlman's great. Michael Wincott is great in everything he's in. Michael Wincott is the first one of the space pirates that died. He's the main space pirate guy that gets the tongue through the chest. He gets he gets killed straight away, which is a shame. He's the bad guy from Robin Hood. He's in the Crow.
Yeah,
he's
I know
fantastic
you
in the
mean.
Crow. He's in
Yeah.
the Three Musketeers. He's in Seraphim Falls. I think it's a western. I used to think he was not in many films, but I've looked at his IMDb for this, and he's in shitloads of films. He's in like a movie every year.
Like a modern day Steve Buscemi.
No, not that prolific. No, but he's a working actor. He's been in a movie or TV show every year since 1979.
Where's he from? Is he American?
He's Canadian.
Oh, is he Canadian?
He's got the most villainous, raspy, yet fucking strangely arousing voice I've ever heard.
A bit like Christopher Lambert.
Yeah.
That weird Canadian French accent thing going on.
Well, yeah, he's a great actor, but the characters are okay because they've all got their own little traits and their own little personalities. But the main thing that stands out for me, this goes back to Joss Whedon. There's a bit of a fucking. I've got a monologue coming up about Joss Whedon. Basically, Ripley. I've discovered the last time I watched this movie, I discovered for the first time now that Ripley's character is absolutely pointless in this film. She does nothing. She has absolutely no impact on the story or the characters whatsoever, and there's a very specific reason for it. Have you ever noticed that?
I'm just like spinning through the movie in my head and
the only thing she actually does is pilot the ship at the end, because none of the space pirates can pilot the ship that they've travelled there on.
Isn't there a scene where she goes into the vents or something, chases the alien out, or she gets the alien to chase her out?
She shoots an alien, but they in the corridor, but that they see, but they're all heavily armed space pirates. I'm sure they could have dealt with it themselves. And then they stumble upon all their clones, and she destroys them. Yeah. And then they carry on moving, and then they go underwater, and then they swim, and then she climbs the ladder. One of them dies, and it's just she doesn't do anything.
That ladder scene. I've recently just seen a video of Ron Perlman talking about that ladder scene where he actually shredded the back of his legs. He ended up with really? Serious gashes from hanging upside down off the metal framing.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I just assumed that was trick photography and a stuntman.
No, he actually did it himself.
Did he actually do it?
Yeah.
Obviously, another stunt that's real in that movie, the basketball shot.
Oh shit! Yeah.
It's 100% real.
She does it, doesn't she?
Yeah, she did it in the one in.
Because I've seen the outtakes afterwards, and she's like, "Did that go in? Did we get that? Was it recorded?"
It's crazy, yeah. But on the DVD extras, the director and Sigourney Weaver and even Ron Perlman says they had to cut it quick because my reaction, I've broke character, because he turns to the camera laughing in amazement. But yeah, so that's a good little thing that stays in. But yeah, what we
because
talking about?
you could have filmed that scene for hours and hours and hours and never got it as perfect as.
Yeah, I think
probably
she
one.
practiced and couldn't get it, but she just asked them to just give it one go with the cameras rolling, because they were going to say they were going to fix it post production anyway, and yeah, she managed to do it. I think she's a lot. Yeah, I mean, in the movie, the perspective, because it's with on camera, things look really, really big. You can play around with depth of field really, really cleverly. She's probably quite close to the basket. It's still I could never do it, but it's not as looks like she's in the middle of the court.
Halfway shot.
Yeah. But obviously she's probably
when the camera pans out from like her right hand side and she does it.
Yeah.
Like you say, she's probably only about 4 or 5 foot maybe.
Yeah. If you angle the camera and you focus in on specific characters, you can always make the background look a lot bigger and a lot further away. You can make small rooms look huge just by the level of where the camera's at. So that's it. But anyway, that's just me being a grumpy old man. The tone of it, like I say, Ripley didn't do fuck all. She pilots the ship at the end, and she asks Call or Cal or Col or Kale or whatever, Winona Ryder's robot character, the android. She gets the android to plug herself into the ship's mainframe to find out where the ship is to get off the. And I think she activates the self-destruct sequence. But again, I'm sure the android could have. She's there.
She's done that without it being.
Well, she's there specifically to sabotage the mission. So you didn't need Ripley to tell her to do that. It was like they were giving her things to do. Apparently, Joss Whedon had like 30 to 60 different drafts of this script, which is bullshit. If you're writing a movie, if a studio asks you to rewrite a script more than like 4 or 5 times, they just get someone to rewrite it for you. There's no way.
Yeah, I should imagine it wouldn't have been 30 to 50 full scripts.
No,
it would have been maybe 30 to 50
revisions,
scenes, or changes.
Yeah, 30 to 60 pages that have been scribbled out and then revised. But originally, the original draft of this script, Ripley's character was mute.
Oh.
Yeah, the clone was going to be a clone of Newt originally, and at the end of the movie was going to take place on Earth, and there was going to be a full-blown outbreak and lead into a sequel, but it never happened. It just got rewritten and rewritten.
God for that. I mean, I don't think a sequel would have worked, really. That direct sequel from that. I mean, another movie.
I think it sets it up quite well because they're a good group of characters. I would have liked them all to have survived. Obviously, Michael Wincott's character and Di Stefano, who's the bad guy from Breaking Bad. He gets his head crushed by Ripley's little baby alien that gets sucked out the hull of a ship.
Which one?
He's the Marine. The Marine. He teams up with them, and then he just gets absolutely.
Oh wait. The shaved head guy.
Yeah.
Who was he in Breaking Bad?
I think he's some kind of drug dealer. I think he's one of the first drug dealers that Walter White blows up.
Yeah.
On the table, and he throws the.
Oh, tight! So tight! That guy! Yeah, I know you mean. Yeah,
that's it. And he's in Gremlins too. Another connection to the Bedford Falls multiverse.
Oh my god.
He's the postman. Yeah. He pops up in all these different movies, but I always remember him as the guy who got his head turned into fucking mincemeat by the.
You see blood coming down his face.
Oh, it's grim. Yeah, there's some big kills in this movie. So there's lots of gore, but it's just cartoon logic, and it just bugged me. But I like to watch this movie in isolation, just completely. I don't bother watching this after Alien 3 if I'm doing a bit of a marathon. I watched this.
Standalone.
Yeah, I watched this the other night, just in between The Predator and Predators. It works better, I think. You get this out the way, and then you can enjoy the trilogy.
I don't think if you're looking at Aliens 3, and then obviously Alien Resurrections, where they're obviously cloned Ripley to bring it back, they never directly tie Ripley back into any of the other movies after that, did they?
No.
Obviously, with it being set in the distant future.
Which that annoyed me.
Obviously, Ripley's died, then she's been reborn, resurrected, so to speak. It just seemed almost like we killed her off in 3. How can we bring her back? We really want to make this movie. You don't need to use Ripley. Like you say, it was written for Newt.
Yeah,
But they'd obviously killed Newt off, so like...
So they were, yeah, so they're going to bring it back as a clone, so then they just thought, oh, we'll bring back Ripley instead.
So yeah, it makes
nothing
sense to watch it as a standalone movie.
Yeah, just get out of the way, just have it as its own little space pirate movie.
So
it's like a superhero film.
I'm gonna bring up another issue which, you know, annoys me. Ghostbusters Answer the Call. It's a standalone movie.
Every time.
They don't need to call it Ghostbusters the same way they didn't need to call this an alien movie. They could have just called it Space Pirates Chase Beasts or something.
Yeah,
you know.
or just a prequel to Firefly, because Joss Whedon went on to make Firefly, didn't he?
Oh my god, we just made a Stargate connection.
Why?
Because Firefly, Ben Browder, Claudia Black, Firefly, and then they were both in Stargate as Cam Mitchell and Val Maldoran.
Wow.
So
I don't understand anything he's just said, but yeah, that's...
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm very happy.
Tangent.
Yeah. I've never watched Stargate. Never watched the film, never watched the series.
Oh my god. The film was awful.
Any of them.
But the series is fantastic. I won't go into it now, because I'm probably going to do my own episode on that one.
Right.
Because he won't want to talk about it for an hour with me, because he'll pour the shit out of him.
I'll sit down and I'll watch them, see what they're like.
Oh, there's too many. There's like... there's 10 series of Stargate SG-1 series. There's 2 series of Stargate Universe with Robert Carlyle, and then there's 5 series of Stargate Atlantis with Jason Momoa.
That's a lot of stars and a lot of gates.
That's a lot of stars, a lot of gates, and a lot of spaceships as well. Loads of spaceships.
Watch Stargate.
So yeah. Anyway, apologise for the coughing.
Well, next up, we've got our chance now to rant. So number 8 is Alien 3.
Oh, right, okay.
According to the internet. What did you have for number 8?
I had Predators.
I had AVP Requiem. So I told you it was a lot higher.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had a lot to say about Alien 3, so why don't you start? Because I've got a lot to say about this movie, so you start.
They took away all the... They stripped it back to its bare bones.
Mm-hmm.
They give it strong female lead, chasing an alien, and it's basically the first movie in a different environment. One woman, one alien, just tearing shit up. I'm not sure why you needed all the weird rapey men.
Well, it's a prison.
I know it's a prison, like, but it was just a little bit over. You know what I mean?
Do you think? I just think it added to so much to all these characters. I fucking love this film. I can see why people hate it, but generally people seem to hate it.
I think the vein of the way the movies were progressing, obviously you had aliens with the Space Marines, loads of guns, loads of action, and then they stripped everything back.
Yeah, it was too stripped back for a lot of people. Too
stripped back, I'd say, yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. But as an adult now, again, looking back at them, you can see more of the artistic pleasures of it.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous to look at. It's really well designed.
I mean, I've got it up as number 9 on my list, so it was below AVP.
I see.
But like I say, this isn't because I didn't think it was a good movie. I think it was just not as good as the other ones. So
you've got it as number 9. So yeah, so you were pretty close to the internet.
Yeah.
But no, I love this film. I didn't used to when I was a kid because I wanted more Marines. I wanted machine guns.
And I can't get past that.
I wanted Newt, I wanted Hicks. I just wanted all the stuff. Yeah, but that's as a younger viewer, as a huge fan of Aliens, as the second one, you do want to see the next part of that story. It wasn't what the fans of Aliens wanted.
Yeah.
But the massive thing, we spoke about this in the Ghostbusters episode last week. People need to differentiate what is a shit movie and what is a movie they didn't like.
Yeah.
Because the amount of times on the internet that people just scream from the rooftops, Alien 3 shit! Yeah. They shouldn't have killed off Newt! Alien 3 is a shit movie! I'm sorry, if you think this is a bad movie, objectively you don't understand what cinema is. You don't understand filmmaking. It's by all means, say you don't personally like it, but you can't say it's a shit film.
That's the mistake people are making, isn't it?
Yeah, massively.
They're saying it's a shit movie. Just because you don't like it doesn't make it shit, like you say.
Exactly.
You just go, oh no, I didn't like that. Alright, move on. Watch something else.
Yeah. I just think it's almost a perfect movie because they've got everything right. It's a perfect cast. Great sort of punchy script. A lot of it sounds sort of ad-libbed almost, and half of it probably fucking was, because when they started filming this movie, they didn't have a finished script.
Really?
It was this entire production of this movie was a nightmare, an absolute car crash. I'm shocked it even got made. But so when you think of all the struggles they had in production, I just think it's a miracle that they managed to put out a 90-minute film in the cinemas. You know, like 9 months later.
It's the only way you could actually shave her head for it.
She did, yeah.
Excellent.
And but I like the fact that but in the film, I like the fact that they explain it's because there's a light problem.
Yeah, it's not
there
just
for
like
purpose.
pointless. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not just in danger because of the alien. She's in danger because she's surrounded by, like you say, all these big rapey men, like literal rapists, literal murderers, and she's got to sort of cohabit with them for the next week while the company come to get the alien. It's a nightmare scenario, but all these characters, they all have their own little backstories. And I think it's, I just think it's brilliant. It's so gothic.
Charles Dance, isn't it?
Charles Dance, yeah, fantastic.
Game of Thrones
again.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, brilliant. He's a great character in it.
Sean Pertwee.
No, not Sean Pertwee. He's in Event Horizon.
Who's the other one? Oh, Pete Postlethwaite. Pete
Postlethwaite's in it. There's every British actor you've ever seen in any programme ever.
The guy from
Clive Mantle.
Yeah.
From Vicar of Dibley, the puddle scene. No one's ever watched the episode, but everyone just knows that scene because it's on every advert for anything British. That's like a quintessential thing. His face is British. Charles S. Dutton.
Jeez, in that as well.
From Mimic, yeah, he's in it. Everyone that you've ever seen in anything is in this movie. A Scouse actor called Carl Chase, who was one of the villains from Batman. He was one of the Batman's henchmen. He's the one who says, take off the bits. Oh no, when Batman's on the floor, unconscious, they've just shot him. And he says, he's human after all. You know, it's bulletproof vest, he's wearing armour. He's human. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's Carl Chase's line. Yeah, just every actor that's ever been in like an episode of Morse or Midsummer Murders, they all cut their teeth in Alien 3. The guy from Mindhunter, he's in it. Which one? The one with the teardrop. I think he's one of the rapey ones in the junkyard. Yeah. Another guy who's in it is a bit part character. The dude, the black guy who says, I think he's putting he's brushing up the fuel, or he's mopping the fuel into the tunnels, and I think he says, I think he's the one who says, oh, this stuff stinks. He's the chief leader, the tribal chief leader in Independence Day Resurgence, who teams up with Jeff Goldblum. He's like the warlord. That's him.
Oh yeah.
Again, they've all been in loads of things. But anyway, that's enough about the cast. There's plenty of other things to talk about. The soundtrack is fantastic, but we need to get onto the effects. What did you think of the maquette that they composited onto the scenes? It wasn't a CGI. It was but it wasn't quite stop motion. It was like a maquette puppet that they composited. It's a maquette. It looks very
like a marionette type thing.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's quite.
So it didn't suit anyone up for this one.
In certain scenes they did, but in the scenes when it's running across the ceiling and stuff like that, it's a maquette that's been it's been like digitally added on by a green screen.
If I didn't notice, it must have been really good, because I assumed it was just someone suited up again.
Oh, you never noticed any of the because it can be quite jarring when you watch it back. You know, with
I remember it being more,
especially in HD.
I remember it being scarier.
Yeah.
It was more of a sinister alien than the ones from Aliens. And the one in Alien was the one that you didn't see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't see it as much until the end scenes. But I think it was more sinister, definitely more sinister and scary in 3.
Yeah. It is. It's.
I think a lot of the running scenes where you see it run through the passageways.
It's vicious. Yeah, it's super scary because it's super
It
quick.
has more like an
It's almost like more insect-like, isn't it? Almost like a scorpion. I don't know. It's weird.
I was actually going to say a bit more like a dog.
Well, in the theatrical cut, it's come from a dog, so it's got dog-like traits. It's got like canine traits.
And then obviously when they released the
assembly cut
figures as well, there was all like the different types of aliens, wasn't it?
Yeah, scorpion, bull, spitter, fire,
and
dragon.
Don't they make a little nod to that in Alien Resurrection as well? Where they've got all the different ones in all the different pods.
I thought when I watched Resurrection that they were going to be different types of alien, but they're all the same.
But then you'd never seen them swim before, had you? And then obviously when they that swimming scene and they're moving almost like ballerina-esque through the water.
Weird. They're very graceful for mindless monsters. They're very graceful. They learned how to swim very quickly, didn't they? Given the fact they're only a few days old. But anyway, but yeah, in the assembly cut, which is the closest thing we'll ever get to a David Fincher director's cut of the movie, it's on for about half an hour longer, and there's so much more dialogue, there's so much more character stuff in it. But the scene with the chest burster, it doesn't come out of a dog, it comes out of an ox. So the assembly cut version is known as the bull alien, and that's why it charges the people. Yeah, so that's why it charges the people. I think the dog scenes were reshoots.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know what came first because this movie got
because
shot.
Imagine they wouldn't have refilmed every scene. They'd only be
it would have only been
cut up ones.
Yeah, it would have been.
So they would have kept some elements of the bull.
Yeah.
Or the dog type one in, wouldn't they?
So it's a bit of a weird mixture. Sometimes it's got dog traits. Other times it's got sort of bull-like.
Very feral-esque, isn't it?
Yeah, it's vicious. But yeah, the assembly cut and the theatrical version, they're so different. They're both great, but the theatrical cut is a lot shorter. It's just a lot more of a basic horror movie. The assembly cut is a lot more thoughtful, and you've got a lot more emotional stuff between the characters. It's a bit more epic because it's just...
Yeah, I think when you put a horror movie in space and you use the same formula over and over again, like one bad guy chasing numerous people around, you can't just do it as like a slasher, can you? You've got to add, like you say, these almost romantic story elements to it. You've got to have the compassionate story elements to it.
Yeah, you've got to give characters a bit of background.
Although I may have bashed at the beginning of talking about Alien 3, looking back now, there's no fault with it really.
No, I think there's very, very few.
Even the relationship Ripley forms with
Clemens,
Charles
Dance's character,
it's there, but it isn't. Well, obviously it is, but it's.
And it's not in your face either. It's subtle.
Yeah,
I only
it's not like they
realised
needed to make it a big deal.
No.
Whereas most movies now, they either start with sex scenes or starting with explosions because they need to draw in the bubble.
Oh God, I dread to think how graphic the love scene between Ripley and Clemens would have been if it was made now.
I mean, there'd been a good 15-minute scene of bald, sweaty,
The whole film would have revolved around
that,
their relationship, which is ridiculous. It was, I wasn't until I was older that I actually realised that they'd slept together because it's
I think when it only really come out.
Yeah, it only really alludes to it. It's not in your face.
I think they need to make more movies like that.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I didn't sort of realise.
For movie watchers rather than telly lookers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people are just watching. They're not watching. They're just looking at your TV screen. Shooing away, trolling everything on the internet about it. Make movies for people who want to watch movies. So yeah, that was my
So we both had a little rant about Alien 3 then.
But I think we both ended on a high note. I think we both
did
agree that it's a fantastic movie. Eventually,
it's not quite what we all wanted.
They didn't need to make Alien Resurrection afterwards.
No, if anything, because a lot of people say that Alien 3 ruins Aliens. I think the same about Resurrections as Alien 3. I think Alien 3 perfectly closes the chapter in a pretty much perfect trilogy.
It's like that meme where taking a lovely picture in the background, there's a dog in the foreground taking the big shit. That's
Yeah.
like Alien 3 in the background, and then Resurrection's just sat there in the front, just taking.
It's a very nice looking dog shit.
Yeah.
Thanks to Jean-Pierre or Jean-Paul Jeanette.
But at the end of the day, it's still dog shit.
Yeah, it cheapens the franchise. Right, so moving on to number 7, which I think we both is Predators. What did you have for 7?
I had Alien vs Predator. For
The first one.
Yeah.
All right, I had Predator 2 as my 7. So yeah, so I had quite a bit higher than 10, but so yeah, 7 Predators. Now I thought this was directed by Robert Rodriguez, but it's not. It was produced by Robert Rodriguez and then directed by someone who's directed absolutely fuck all. He's a Hungarian guy that's directed a few Hungarian films.
Really?
And that explains everything, because this is another movie that looks like it could be straight to video. This film,
I think if he hadn't had the cast, he'd have had to have sent it straight to video.
Yeah.
Because
especially Adrian
Brody, Danny Trejo, Walton Goggins. Again, Walton Goggins.
Is
Sons
he in?
of Anarchy. He
Fucking
plays
hell.
Venus Van Damme. Yeah, sorry.
So the Predator and Alien movies are the gel that binds Game of Thrones and Sons of Anarchy together.
Is there anyone from Game of Thrones in this one? Oh, Danny Trejo was in Stargate Atlantis as well.
Oh,
and Danny
God.
Trejo was in Sons of Anarchy.
Was he? He's in everything.
Oh God, Danny
He's
Trejo.
a Spanish Samuel L. Jackson.
He is, yeah.
Sorry, Latinx
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, he just pops up whenever. But anyway, where were we? We're talking about the cast.
Yeah.
So, if they hadn't have had the big budget cast, or what was big budget? Was it mid-range?
I'd say mid-range.
Mid-range.
I think it
Budget cast. I think it would have gone straight to DVD because you needed to justify spending that much money on the cast. So,
yeah,
Lawrence Fishburne was in it as well.
Yeah, as again, don't fucking do much. He didn't need to be there. Either centre the story around him and his story, or centre it on them. It didn't need the bit in the middle where they go to his little spaceship home and then he turns out to be
Again, they could have done that whole movie without him in it.
Yeah, it just didn't need it. It was just made a cool scene to have someone go over here.
Yeah,
you're too quiet. And a human wearing a Predator mask, which it looked good, but it went nowhere. I think the characters were a bit of a missed opportunity. They all seemed like they had backstories, but they didn't have a chance to
open them up,
expand it or clash with each other. They all just got thrown in, and then.
And then the one character that they did kind of go back into, the rapey guy.
Oh, he was
the young guy who plays the pharmacist type thing.
Oh, him, yeah, the serial killer.
Yeah, and you're thinking, if you're going to expand on someone's story, it wasn't particularly the best one.
No.
I'd have gone with the Yakuza guy.
I'd say I liked him. Yeah,
but he stands up to that Predator, doesn't he?
Yeah, 100%.
Pulls that sword out.
Don't know why he's got a sword with him in a suit.
He finds it though, doesn't he?
Of course
in that guy's,
he does.
In that guy's spaceship. And
of course he does. Yeah.
You get a little bit of, this is a 500-year-old samurai sword from the first dynasty or something mad like that. And there has been quite a lot of internet chatter about the next Predator movie being set in, diastolic Japan,
like feudal Japan or somewhere. The next one's going to be called Badlands, isn't it?
I think it's set in World War II, isn't it, or World War One?
That was a fan art
was that
thing.
that
was it tricked a fucking lot of people. People are stupid. They're fan art posters. Some of them out a mile. Some of them look great, but you can see, it's going to be fake. But yeah, so Badlands. I think it's Dan Trachtenberg again.
Oh, okay.
But we'll talk about that when we talk about Prey. But yeah, is there anything to talk about Predators? Because it's
Adrian Brody's character was awful.
Yeah, and he's
Royce, was he?
Yeah, Royce. Yeah, weird name, weird character, weird face. No one likes Adrian Brody anymore.
I don't think he was tipped for the role, was he, at first?
Wasn't he?
Someone else was tipped for it, and I can't remember who it was.
He doesn't do this type of character very well. I think he was miscast very, very
Definitely. I mean, if he was gonna use it to jumpstart any kind of action career that he may have wanted, it failed miserably. It fell flat on his face.
Yeah.
Because these went, you can't do action.
No.
And
he can just about hold together the gravelly voice.
Yeah.
Which
again,
God,
that's like fucking Christian Bale's Batman voice.
It's comedic, isn't it? Because he's really putting it on. He's really having
too much noise.
He's really having to try. It's really weird. But it's a shame because it's quite a cool idea to have them on the Predator homeworld. But again, this is like a straight to DVD story.
They should have paid the writers a shitload more money and stripped the cast down to about 5 of B-movie actors. Someone you've never heard of. Someone coming in who's really trying the hardest. I'd have gone with someone like oh God, what was his name? He was in Pacific Rim. He played the Australian guy. I think he was in EastEnders as well.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Those sort of type of.
Those B-movies.
Yeah.
Maybe someone like even Idris Elba. At the time when that movie came out, Idris Elba was just coming into movies, really.
He would have been good as the lead in this.
Idris Elba would have been brilliant.
Yeah.
He's got that more of a butch, stockier, going against the Predator kind of vibe, rather than fucking Adrian Brody's skinny ass piano playing.
It's just, yeah.
You know.
It's just really miscast, isn't it? It's a shame because there's a little nugget in there of a good idea. It was just a bit of a waste. They got the wrong people to do it.
Definitely. And the way they befriend the Predator by helping him out, getting him down, and then he goes against the berserker predators because I think he's a hunter, the one that's strung up.
Yeah.
And then he goes against the 2 big berserkers.
Yeah, it was nice to see different tribes, different sorts of...
In fighting between them.
Different sorts of species of Yautja.
And then obviously you got the big beast things that were chasing them with the big horns.
I fucking hated them. They couldn't kill them with 5 different machine guns, but all of a sudden when they get up close they can kill it with a knife to the face. What the fucking point in that? That's absolutely stupid. It just... It takes you... Scenes like that really take you out of the scene.
They drift you away because you're watching it and you're going...
Yeah, and it gets closer and they're running away and then you turn around and it's somehow not very close and then all of a sudden it's jumping at them and then it's still in mid-air and then it gets shot and it's just...
and then
the
scene where they put the booby trap guy, which they had to make a nod to Predator.
Yeah, with the
Marine who's
that
been
was
death,
again.
He says a dead drop or whatever it was, and you're thinking,
again, it's very cartoonish. Yeah, the way everything falls, all the spikes fall in a perfect
in a very Dutch-esque style booby trap.
Yeah,
it's like stop it.
It was a nice nod, but
move away from me.
Yeah, it was a rough film.
Yeah, but I mean, it's watchable.
It is. It's watchable, but I'm just shocked at the fact that it was like right in the middle of the list.
Yeah, I mean, I've got mine 8th. You've got yours what? 7th?
I had Predators 11, so I had this quite low down because I don't like it as a film, and I don't think it was very well done. You know what I mean? It's one of the last ones I try to watch. If I had to watch them all in order of like preference and quality, this would be like this is number 11.
You know what? I'm gonna change.
Are you making it in video change?
Yeah, I'm gonna move it to 13.
Really?
I'm gonna move everything up one.
Oh God! So where does that? So you puts Alien 3 in 8th now.
It's brought up. Yeah.
Oh, so you've matched up with the internet.
Yeah. I think
oh my God!
After that little deep dive there, we've
did our conversation remind you of how terrible it is?
It's Adrian Brody.
Yes. Oh God, you hate him, don't you?
Brody just boils me piss. He's just terrible. His career's just not really.
His career's like this movie. It's got promise, but it inevitably was just dull, just very dull.
Other than
could have been better, basically.
Predators and The Pianist, I don't think I've seen him in anything else.
No.
Anything of significance.
He was in Atomic City. Is that what it's called?
Like I say, I've never seen him in anything.
Asteroid City, the new Wes Anderson movie. It's all it's very, very Wes Anderson. It's the most Wes Anderson movie I've ever watched. He just gets more and more into his own little fucking niche every time. It's starting to get a bit silly now.
Yeah. Was he in the Royal Tenenbaums?
Yeah, he's one of Wes Anderson's.
Was he one of his
regulars? Him and Bill Murray.
What's it called? Staples.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill Murray in a Wes Anderson movie. I think Bill Murray is perfect for Wes Anderson because of his deadpan style and his very dry, like visual. It's just perfect Bill Murray.
Yeah, movie. He wasn't in the last one, but it's Tom Hanks. But I'm pretty sure Tom Hanks.
About Tom Hanks?
Why?
Hasn't he been like?
Have there been accusations?
I think there's been accusations of pokery.
Oh God! Oh dear.
Yeah, I mean.
Not another one.
Another one, yeah. I mean, I've always I love Tom Hanks. His movies are brilliant. But if there is any weight to these accusations, then he's a terrible person.
Google it. Get on the.
Let us know. In the comments below.
Well, anyway, he was in the movie, but I think he's playing a character that was blatantly written for Bill Murray. I think Bill Murray might have been scheduled, but there must have been some like a clash with his schedule.
Ghostbusters, or maybe he was just walking around.
No, he was fucking Elliot. He only spent an afternoon on set doing Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
trust me. But yeah, Tom Hanks is doing it, and it just doesn't work. It should be Bill Murray. Yeah.
I mean, but have you seen Polar Express, where Tom Hanks plays practically everyone in it?
Yeah, it's horrific. It's like a nightmare.
It's I quite enjoy it as a Christmas movie, but I think that version of Tom Hanks probably would have been better for a Wes Anderson rather than now Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like a digital version of Tom Hanks rather than the actual version of Tom Hanks.
Yeah, more whimsical. But I hate that movie because they all look like they're dead, but they're somehow still alive. It's horrible.
Not in the eyes.
It's
the eyes.
No, I mean, Pixar and Disney, they've got better now at making like eyes look real. But yeah, that Polar Express, I think it's haunting.
The elves are quite scary.
There's a movie called The Elves are quite scary, but there's a movie called Elves, which is it's similar to
Swedish one.
No, I've watched that. That was great. There's one from the 80s called Elves, and it's similar. It's similar to Carnosaur that we spoke about.
Oh my God.
I always try and shoehorn in these terrible 80s films. But yeah, I'll show you I'll put the trailer up and let you know what you think. We can save that for the Christmas episode. Christmas episode. I had Covenant at 6 as well. It's a mine match.
I had Covenant at 13, but it's recently been moved up to 12.
Up to 12.
So
right,
slight change.
So,
but yeah, Covenant.
Why was it at the bottom? Tell me what you hate about it, and I'll tell you what I like about it.
I mean, the whole David story again.
It was a drag, yeah.
We needed to move on from that.
I think it kind of fixed things that Prometheus set up.
I mean, if intergalactic space horror story needs to be set in space, not on a planet. And I know you were going for the backstory, and I know you were going for the origin story with Prometheus, and then you needed to go and tidy some things up at the end of it. But it just didn't do anything. It done nothing.
There was not much to it. It was Prometheus was overcomplicated. This was oversimplified, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But
and there was no like middle ground with these little films. And then
where's Prometheus on your list? We might as well talk about these films together because number 5 is Prometheus.
I had Prometheus at 12, which is obviously been bumped up to 11 now. But I had Prometheus and Covenant at 12 and 13 because
I see. Right, that makes perfect sense. I had Prometheus at 10. I had Covenant at 6. So we might as well talk about these together because
that's fine. Yeah.
I think these work perfectly as a little double feature. As a double bill, Prometheus and then Covenant, I think you get the whole sort of picture. If you watch either of them in isolation on their own, they both fall way short. One overreaches, and then the other one completely underperforms.
When you did you make them both at the same time?
No, they're not 3 years apart.
Would it be better making them both at the same time? Sitting back, looking at the edit and going, we can make one movie out of this.
It could, yeah. I think if you watch them together, it is one big long movie.
Split it into 3 parts. 3 acts, obviously started with the shorter backstory from Prometheus, you know, the long journey to space, seeking out a new planet, the pods with the oil stuff in, David's little bit of a story, the William Yutani connection to it, and then, you know, back to a space horror movie at the end of it.
Yeah.
With the aliens chasing around a spaceship.
It's so tacked on, that ending with the alien and the ship. But I mean, they needed it because it's called Alien. You need to have an alien on a spaceship killing people.
And now we've gone fast forward. What? When did Covenant come out?
Covenant was 2018 or 2000. No, I think Covenant was 2016.
Covenant was 17.
Was it 17?
17, yeah.
Prometheus was 2012.
So
yeah, there's a good.
Jeez,
good.
4 years there.
They only made this. Ridley Scott only made this because Neil Blomkamp was almost going to get money from Fox to do Alien 5 with Sigourney Weaver and Michael Benn and Carrie Henn as well. Remember all the artwork came out, all them concept designs.
Why didn't he do that?
Ridley Scott didn't want it to happen, and they wouldn't fund two separate movies. So they greenlit Covenant instead of the Blomkamp one. Now, I think it does a lot right, but again, this is another movie on this list that relies heavily on visuals.
The visuals were good. The whole artistic style.
The feel of it is nice. It's a
cinematography, but it's so far away from anything Alien previously.
I think it goes quite close to the first movie in terms of the basic sort of story, maybe. But I know what you mean. I think Prometheus dragged everything so far forward in terms of all these big grand themes of religion and death and creation and fucking hell, it's so overblown. Yeah, it's just
too many elements to it.
Overstuffed intellectual wank fest.
It's like a Tadurkan. You know when you get one of them beds inside a bed, inside a bed, inside a bed.
Is that what it's called?
It's a Tadurkan, yeah.
A Tadurkan?
It's like a turkey, a chicken and a duck.
It's one of them fucking things that Jamie Oliver twat goes on television
it's like
shows how to make everything.
Too much stuffed in it.
And
then it's like, just
none of
tastes
it
like
works.
meat.
Yeah,
It
none of it
works.
works.
It's like chicken. You know what I mean?
There's parts of Prometheus where you're watching money burn on screen, but more importantly than that, you can literally visualise the script on a page getting scribbled out where they've changed shit.
You took out all the good bits.
Yeah, the planet. It's not LV426 anymore. We're going to rename it. It's LV372 or something like that. So straight away, no, it turns out that it's not the same planet. It's not LV426. It's LV something else. So it's not the same planet. They see the derelict, but it's not the same derelict from Alien. It's a different derelict. It's not the same pilot because he gets fucking Facebook in a different location. But you can tell that on the original script, it's been just a straight off prequel. They've been trying to explain to us in a 2-hour movie how everything got to be on that planet for Alien, much like the Thing prequel. It just explains to us in really, really simple terms what happened before and why there is a ship and an alien in that specific part of the planet. But you can see where they've changed everything. The jars with black ooze in were obviously going to be fucking eggs.
Yeah.
The people who mutated were obviously going to get face hugged and then chest burst.
What are the what's the alien from the very beginning of it called? Are they called like the constructors or the builders?
Engineers.
The engineers.
The engineers. And
then
who gives a shit where they came from?
Obviously, they needed to bring in the HR guy element to it, didn't they? With the artwork. So you've got the
which I think it stays quite faithful.
The engineers.
Yeah.
In his seat, haven't they?
You've got the engineer in the seat at one stage, but then he gets out the seat to go and find the lady, I can't remember her fucking name, and he gets face hugged by a massive octopus that came out the lady's stomach when she goes in that pod.
Which is like a de-evolved version of the face hugger.
Yeah, and again, so I'm just trying to think, maybe in the original script, was that an alien that she was taking out of herself, or the first face hugger? Was whatever that she took out of herself originally meant to be a face hugger? The face hugs the pilot after he's chased her, but then he goes back to his crashed ship, sits in his little seat, and then gets chest burst, and then it's all set up there. Yeah, so then it's all set up then. That would just tie it into Alien. right, we've seen what's happened on this planet. We know why there's a derelict ship there. We know why there's loads of eggs, and we know why there's because obviously whatever came out of the pilot would have been a queen if it was going to tie to alien.
Yes.
But again, it doesn't, because it's established that it's a different fucking planet, it's a different derelict spaceship, it's a different space jockey in a different fucking seat with a different alien. It's fucking stupid. They should have just kept it simple.
Yeah.
But do you know why they didn't keep it simple? Because Damon Lindelof, who wrote Lost, wrote this movie. That's why it's fucking an absolute mess.
God. Speaking of things that are drawn out to the point where you lose fucking interest in it, Lost was that thing, and it took me 10 years to watch Lost.
I'm never going to watch it.
Honest to God. When it first came out, it was HBO or AMC, I can't remember which one it was on.
Oh yeah.
It first come out, I watched the first series, fantastic.
I watched the first few episodes.
First couple of episodes of the
Yeah.
second series, I lost interest. I think I started watching Sex and the City, to be honest, with the missus. But yeah, Lost. And then it was only, I think it was during lockdown, when I was looking for things to watch.
Oh, you went back?
I went back and I watched them all, and it still made no fucking sense at the end of it. Were they all dead? Were they in limbo? Were they in heaven? Were they in hell? Was it purgatory? Was it this? Was it that? Was it fucking human centipede? I don't know. And I don't
That's
think
how we can.
anyone
That's how we
cares
can
at
link
this
these
point.
to the human centipede.
And yeah, I mean, Lost, you know, brought up so many good actors as well, and then just fucked them completely by putting them in it.
Yeah. I remember someone trying to convince me to watch it in a pub once, years and years ago. It was after it just finished. I know. It was a while ago, and he explained the premise to me. So I just said, "Well, are they dead?" You know, when he said about, "Oh, they're on an island and there's been a plane crash, but they're stuck on an island and there's all things from their past popping up and it's like a mystery." And it was like, so I just said to him, "So they're dead?" And he went, no, it's not dead. So I was like, "Well, they're in limbo." "Oh, no, you're just gonna have to watch it." It's like, so it's like some kind of government experiment. I was like, "You're just gonna have to watch it." I was like, "Well, if it's all three of them and none of them three, I don't fucking care."
Yeah.
It's just, but yeah, so that's why it's a fucking mess. That's why it's full of all these ideas and plot threads that go absolutely nowhere.
Yeah. But like I say, long drawn out. Covenant, just as long and drawn out.
I wouldn't say Covenant was drawn out. I'd say if anything, it was wrapped up quite fast, but a bit too quick. You know what I mean? I think the middle section. Sorry, actually, I go back on that. The middle section does fucking drag when it's David and Walter.
Yeah.
Two weird robots. It's so bizarre. I laughed out loud in the cinema when he says the line about "I'll do the fingering." I know that's so childish. I know I am very childish. But I was in an empty cinema watching that.
Kids, what you expect?
Yeah. But yeah, it's I like it, but it's got its faults. But I think if you watch them back to back, it manages to wipe away any of the nonsense that Prometheus tries to set up. It manages to backtrack enough that it says, "Look, this isn't important. The engineers are all dead now. We've got a mad robot, and more importantly, here's an alien. Here's an egg. Here's a face hugger. Here is a xenomorph."
It looks more like it's what you used to.
Yeah, I think you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I'm sure Ridley Scott was probably thinking to himself, "We need to drag this back to the Alien franchise now. We've tried to branch out with the Prometheus and the engineers and this big, huge, overarching theme of religion and faith and creativity and all that bollocks."
I think if you look at Alien 3, they still had the elements of religion and faith.
Fucking lot. They had a lot. There's a lot more like sort of themes in Alien 3 than any of the like Prometheus.
It's probably more modern religious
subtle.
style, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than like
it's very
newfangled.
Yeah.
And then even in the comic books as well.
Is it Music of the Spears, the one where it's like a religion? Is that what it's called? Or am I getting mixed up? They've dipped their toe in the more intellectual sort of side of it, and then
I suppose when you want to spread your viewers some more demographics, you have to put in a little bit more token shit in for everyone.
They've got the fans of the original to please. They've got modern audiences to please. They've got general audiences to please. They've got die-hard fans who will just watch anything to please. What's he supposed to do? I mean, someone should have really said to Ridley Scott, "Look, it's fine. Just you've done your 3 weeks filming with the actors. let the second unit director take over now, really.
Yeah.
Go and sit down, go and cash your check, and go and take your blood pressure tablets.
Yeah.
Go and have a rest, you know. Go
chill.
Yeah.
Go over there.
But no, he just had to make another one. He had to block the Neil Blomkamp version. But we'll never know. We'll never know, which is a shame, because I think that would have been
it would have been well better.
A good ride.
It definitely would have been well better.
And the internet says number 4, Prey.
Phenomenal.
Loved it.
Absolutely amazing. If you've got to make a prequel, this is the format and this is the formula that you want to aim for. Make it as true, connect it in. Not too much where it's it's over Easter egg or it's over
didn't overcook
foreshadowing type thing.
He didn't overcook it.
Perfect.
Perfectly balanced.
Yeah.
Between new ideas and
the original concept.
Yeah, paying homage to the original source material without it just being a retread.
Yeah.
I think it was absolutely fantastic.
I think when you look at the settings and the surroundings it's set in with the tribes people, are the Indians? Well, I don't want to offend anyone.
I'm not sure. They're a Native American tribe.
Native American tribe. So obviously at the time it was like the colonialism, wasn't it? Of
there would have been. You would have had multiple factions trying to colonise these areas of America, like the French, the Dutch, the British,
but being like
the Spanish.
Being like that naturally instinctive hunter gatherer, where the predators come in to learn from that like naturalistic hunter gatherer kind of persona. Perfect.
Because the hunter itself is learning. We saw the predator. We see the predator learning.
That's classed as a feral predator.
It is a feral predator, yeah. And at some point I thought this predator was similar to the ones from Predators, you know, the different sort of species type with a different face.
Yeah.
But they're similar, but they're not. Apparently, they're not meant to be the same sort of species. It's just a feral predator that's been redesigned because it's its own little. It's just a different type of predator.
Like a earlier evolution of it.
Yeah, I would have hated it if they'd have just had a carbon copy of the first movie version.
All the original.
It wouldn't have. Yeah, I don't think
it would have worked in settings. So after that. Skull tank mask instead of like the metal clad one with all the tubes and gas and all that. I think it would have just.
It made perfect sense to have this.
Like this one.
Yeah.
If they'd have gone for that original type, it would have ruined the movie.
Yeah, it would have completely ruined it. It made perfect sense to have this predator really stripped back.
Yeah.
You know, weapons a little bit more rudimentary. Yeah. No laser cannons. You know, just projectile sort of weapons.
Darts.
Little darts, weren't they? And then it's got some kind of landmine. It's got a shield. It turns out to be a blade.
Mechanical, almost like a steampunk style.
A little bit, yeah.
Steampunky, but it's brilliant. And like what's going on about the settings and surroundings, it's learning. So I think you see the first things it kills is a rabbit, and then
that sequence
coyote,
is amazing.
and then a bear. It like progresses.
But as it kills the. I think is it a rabbit? No, it's not. Sorry, we see an ant crawling on a leaf. We then see a mouse or a rabbit pick up and eat the ant. We then see a snake. Grab the mouse or the rabbit, and then we then see the fucking predator skewer the snake, and then it bones it like it's a fucking fish.
Like it does with humans.
It's like nature. It's like everything is hunting everything else. The bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think that the following scene, I think it's a coyote, but it gets a chunk bitten out of its leg. So when it's fighting the coyote, it gets injured, but then it has a fight with the blade.
So it's learning.
It's learned and it's hunting bigger and bigger things. And then with the bear,
keeps that boss element.
Yeah.
The predator, the way the predator works, how you work.
Yeah, it's back to basics in a good way.
And then you can see where it's bringing in the AVP story almost with its surroundings.
Oh, I don't know. You know, I don't
think it's as far back as then. Like the
maybe a nod to it, but
I'm
not sure this movie is acknowledging.
I mean, I don't think it'll canonise it because if you're looking back to the AVP backstory from that, you see like the modern version of the Predator stood on the Incan temple with the modern day version of the xenomorph.
Yeah.
And then obviously you see the humans worshipping it.
Yeah.
It's a lot further back.
I think I like the idea of this movie trying to retcon that though. You know that?
So,
yeah, because this is a lot more like this movie wants to, it's elevated above AVP. I mean, compared to this, AVP is straight to video, absolute trash. This movie is a fucking fantastic bit of filmmaking. It takes itself seriously. It takes the character seriously. It knows the source material. But yeah, so I think to try to, if the filmmakers were trying to tie this to the AVP movies, oh god, I think they'd make themselves. I'd be furious.
I mean, trying to do it and then
pulling it off. Yeah. I know I can see what you mean. It's a little, maybe it's a little odd, but it makes it. It ties it together and makes it feel part of the same universe. Yeah, sorry. But the music as well. It's very Last of the Mohicans. It's just that kind of sweeping sort of vistas of America. All these, great.
But even Predator, the music wasn't in your face. It wasn't like overly orchestrated. Was it?
It knew that it was there when it was needed.
Yeah,
and
atmospheric rather than just. And
it built so near the end it becomes a bit more intense just as the action starts to build.
But that's what you want. You want the intensity to build with the tension.
Yeah. Well, the bear scene seems to be a bone of contention with some people. Again, when people are criticising this film, they can't criticise anything about it because it's damn near fucking perfect. But what they will pull out of is sorry, that was phrasing. What they do tend to pick up on is the bear scene and the CGI of the bear. Now, I didn't think it was anything particularly offensive. I
think it passed the squint test. I think from the scene, it's quite a distance where you see them fighting originally, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because she's up on the hill, it's further down, and then
as it gets closer.
But I wouldn't say the graphics were over.
No, I mean it looks like a CGI bear because it's a CGI bear.
I don't think they're still training bears.
Yeah, it's what the fuck you'd expect. I mean, it's not a real bear in The Revenant. I mean, it's still a good scene, but fuck me, it's you know what I mean?
It's not a real bear.
Yeah, it's not a fucking real bear. What would they prefer? A fucking like
maybe
two men in a bear costume?
No, maybe they should have used that bear that they used in World War II. The one who used to carry stuff for them.
Oh god. That would be an interesting Predator movie.
Yeah, the Germans had this bear, or the English, I don't know who it was.
And he used to carry things for them?
Yeah, true story.
Oh god. Did he get killed by a predator?
Possibly.
Oh, bless him. CGI bears just can't defend themselves, so they're all pixelated.
That's it.
They punch and it goes through, just makes a little bleep noise and then they get skewered like a fucking kebab by a predator. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, CGI bears, who gives a fuck? It was a cool fucking scene, and this film didn't have a massive budget. This is the movie that did not get a theatrical release. This film was not released in the cinemas. This film was direct to streaming.
Oh shit, actually watched it on Netflix, I think.
No, it was Disney.
Oh, it was Disney?
In America it was Hulu, and then over here, 5 days later, I think it was Disney Plus, because they're connected. Yeah. I think Disney Plus own Hulu. So to think that a movie of this quality was never out in the cinema is fucking shocking. When you compare this to some of the movies on this list that had theatrical runs.
But when you look at the cast, I don't think the cast were overly budgeted, were they? I don't think I've seen any of them in anything.
The brother in this, who I think is great, he's never acted before. There's a few members of this cast and it's their first movie.
Wow.
And I think a majority of the cast are actually Native Americans, which I think is brilliant because it's
giving back to the
it's exactly and there was a dubbed version of this movie and it's dubbed
Navajo?
in I think it's either Navajo or I'll put it on screen whatever it is because I don't want to be offensive to anybody, but it's a Native American language and there was a dubbed version. It was acted and recorded in English, but they recorded over the Native American language, so you can listen to it with the Native American dub.
That's brilliant. I think
It's
a
just
lot
a nice
of
little.
films
It's a nice touch.
and movie makers need to do a bit more of that. Give back to original cultures.
They certainly do. And this Amber Midthunder, her name is the lady in this, the actress who plays I can't remember what her name is, but she does an absolutely fantastic job. She is fucking brilliant, and her character's great as well. And we see her learn just as much as we see the Predator learn, but she's using her her street smarts. She's not all brawn and bravado and guts. She's brave and she's willing, but she needs to use her brain a bit more. And
you see the I wouldn't so much say a parody to Dutch and his fighting style when he fights the Predator in Predator, but you can see his almost instinctive military training coming back into it without guns, without knives, without
that,
going back to basics, speaking of a makeshift bow and arrow.
Yeah, all the booby traps.
Booby traps, and she's using the axe on the rope to keep the distance rather than
makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's a good movie, but you can't see when we might as well.
Where did you have it in your one?
In my one, I had this as 5. And you had this as 4. So you had this the same as the internet.
Yeah.
See, because this is a weird one. You're gonna fucking kill me because we're gonna end up having a fight in the kitchen. The internet number 3 on the internet is Predator.
Yeah.
And yours is Predator.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Aliens.
Okay.
So we'll talk about the Predator and then we'll talk about the other one. So Predator. So that's the internet ranking number 3. Now, this is as close to a perfect film as you're gonna get.
I think if you're looking through the dictionary, the dictionary, sorry, and you've got the word 80s, it's just going to be a picture of Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger doing the token "you son of a bitch" scene, and that's all you'll need to know that's the perfect 80s movie.
It is, but I think within that you've got it's the self-aware nature of it. When I was a kid, I just used to think this was a silly action film. When I became an adult, it was like, oh, it's a good action film, but it's really cheesy. When I've watched this in the cinema, on its re-release with a load of students who were watching it ironically and picking up on what parts of the movie they laugh at and which parts of the movie they then go to the bar during, that's when you realise that no, this movie is deliberately doing this. This movie is self-aware. John McTiernan is setting these characters up to be like real-life G.I. Joes that are just almost parodies of action heroes, and that's what makes it more frightening when they start getting picked off by this unseen fucking.
It's almost it is. It's almost like the formula for character arcs. Yeah. For that Butch G.I. Joe kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it knows what it's doing. Yeah. So I used to think it was cheesy, but I don't think it is cheesy now. There's cheesy icons in it. There's cheesy moments in it, but they're there deliberately. Because it's just a way
over time it's made it's a little bit more cheesy. Yeah. But like you say, if he's put them in there to not so much spoof it, but
just like Jay, just that self-referential thing of right, this is silly. These men are overly butch. That's why they've all got their arms out. That's why they're all carrying these.
They're all baby.
That's why they carry machine guns that are usually mounted on helicopters. A special ops soldier would never in a million years be able to take a Gatling gun into a jungle. You know what I mean? But it looks great. They're like real life action figures, and I'm sure John McTiernan has done that deliberately to, like I say, so it's all the more scary when these men are literally terrified. Halfway through the film when they realise they're getting stalked by something they can't see, and it's terrifying. The only thing about this film that I would ever mark it down on, because I think this is a 10 out of 10, I also think Prey is pretty much a 10 out of 10 on a filmmaking level. I think they're pretty much side by side. They're both fantastic. The only thing I would change about the Predator, not the Predator or Predators, just Predator,
the Predator,
it's the opening scene. The opening scene where we see that spaceship land, I think it is so fucking unnecessary. It would have been so great if you just had to try and guess what the Predator was, whether it's just an assassin, or a fucking ninja, or a cyborg, or a demon, or a ghost, or a mutant, or a bioweapons fucking thing.
Because then when
do you know what I mean? It's
you only see its full-bodied version of itself near the end, don't you?
Well, yeah, and I just think it would have been great to not know what it is, but the fact that you see the spaceship, the fact that you see a spaceship approaching Earth and then something falls off in it. Yeah, it's a bit like The Thing. You don't need that scene, and I'm sure that was probably tacked on at the end. So the studio have probably told John McTiernan to add that.
Yeah.
Because they want the audience to.
But can you imagine how much of a different film would have been if they'd have kept the original concept with the Jean-Claude Van Damme version?
Oh god, it would have been fucking horrific.
I've seen it. God, it's the worst looking alien ever.
Do you know where else you see that?
It would have just turned it into like an episode of The Outer Limits or something.
Well, we'll put it on screen, but you've seen the finished costume, haven't you? And it looks like a fucking lobster. It looks like Zoidberg from Futurama. But have you seen the red version of that costume that was going to be used for the camouflage scenes?
Oh god.
Guess where else we see that?
The same one.
The red costume, the lobster, the one where it's actually red.
Swamp Thing.
What?
Swamp Thing.
No, the Predator. During the Halloween scene, you know when he's walking, when the kid is walking through the street with the Predator mask on. Someone in the Halloween parade is dressed up as the Jean-Claude Van Damme costume, but all in red. I'll put it on the screen.
Have you ever seen
It's a nice little reference. It's fun.
What it reminds me most of, have you ever seen the opening titles for The 18?
Of course.
Opens the panel to smoke a cigar. He's got that
it's
that, and like every time I've seen it, I've just gone, I'm so glad he didn't.
I have always thought I've seen that somewhere,
and it's like the same thing.
A-Team is now in a shared universe with the Alien and Predator franchise. But still no human centipede.
No, we'll tie it.
We will tie it, but we've managed to tie it with It's a Wonderful Life. I need to do a map of the some kind of schematic. We need to do a spidergram. Yeah, is that what it's called? Spidergram.
Spidergram, yeah.
I need to do a spidergram of It's a Wonderful Life.
Multiverse. A Venn diagram.
A what?
A Venn diagram.
There would be so many circles and overlaps. Jesus Christ, no, fuck that.
Okay.
It'd look like one of them spider fucking things that you do.
Spirograph.
Oh,
I think it's 80s as well. Actually, it might have been 60s, I don't know. But anyway, we're going off on
so what are your experience? What are your thoughts on Predator as a movie? It is damn
Predator. It like I said before, it's the perfect 80s movie. If you had to pick one movie from each like decade, you'd pick Predator. That's your 80s one.
100%.
You know, it's got the brutality of it. It's got I wouldn't say so much backstory to it, but it's got a little bit of depth to it.
There's a little bit of world building in the conversations they have. You know, we know that him and Dylan have worked together before, and it's they reference where they've been in previous missions. There's enough character stuff to know that these.
Beirut or something they mentioned.
I think
like that.
So, yeah.
I think each character.
They've got their own little quirk.
Yeah.
But it's not in your
and
face.
You're all relevant to it as well.
Yeah, no, it is.
There isn't like a pointless actor, or there isn't a pointless character. Sorry, that you just kind of go, well, you didn't need that. You know, like in Predators, where you kind of go, we didn't need him or him because they bring nothing to the table.
Yeah.
You know, I think
one's a tracker, one's a communications expert, the other one's like an armory. Expert who's like a weapons specialist. You got an explosives
leader
guy.
You almost corrupt character, but not
the company man. He's like the bear. Dylan's like the bear character, isn't he?
Yeah. But then, you know, as the story progresses, and obviously you lose one more character, it doesn't lose any kind of wholesomeness within the group. It doesn't lose any dynamic.
Yeah.
And it stays almost the same, like they're still there, even though they're dead or they've been gutted. They're still there. They're still within the mental capacity of it. And then that scene with Billy, and he's always rubbing his little necklace.
Is that the flower from Prey?
It's the flower from Prey.
Yeah,
He's got like I don't know if he's got like a jade stone in it or something like that, but it looks like a little bag or
I mean,
something.
you see the gun.
The gun's in Predator
The revolver
2,
is
isn't
Predators 2, isn't it?
But yeah, I think Billy is somehow tied in.
I'd love it if that. I mean, you could say that's cheesy,
Because
but
he's obviously
it
Native
is.
American, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's
so
got that little bag and
I think that
the
would be
little bag with the orange flowers in. You're like,
I think that would be fantastic if
same gun.
if it's the same bag and Billy is a relative of is her name Nuri or Neri? I'm not sure. I'll put it on screen. But yeah, I'd love it if he's a descendant of her, and that's why he can sense the Pred, because it's, you know, the bloodline.
The story's gone down. Yeah.
Maybe they're both relatives. Maybe that predator is related to the feral predator. No, that's probably going too far.
Where are they? They're in the desert, in the jungle in.
It's just South America.
Oh, what's it called? What's the N? Nicaragua.
Nicaragua? Is that where they are?
They're in Nicaragua.
Possibly. I'd have to see. Maybe if they say it on screen, then it's canon. Yeah, we'll do a bit of research.
We'll check it.
Yeah.
But yeah, perfect movie, perfect cast, perfect story. Like we say, apart from that first opening scene with the spaceship, it just gives the Game Boy. You know what's coming then.
I just think it didn't need it. It was unnecessary. The film would have started perfect if it was just an action movie.
I mean, putting them in any kind of sequel or film that came after it would have worked, because then you go, oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you pretty much know it's an alien like halfway through, sort of near the end. By the third act, you know that it's
what it is.
You know that it's an alien predator and it's killing for sport.
Yeah.
But you don't need to know that from the off. But it'd be great to. This is one of them movies. I'd love to unwatch it so I could watch it again from scratch.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd love a mind wiping device for movies.
Oh God, yeah.
Just.
I think there's definitely a couple of movies within our preferred movies or movies we don't like that we could quite easily erase from our memories. I'm not going to say Answer the Call, but Answer the Call.
Oh my God.
Oh my word! Oh,
what are you going to do?
Fucking go!
He hates Answer the Call.
I don't hate it. I just.
That's the thread. That's the human centipede.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you'd like to sew them all together in a ring and then throw them off a bridge.
God, yeah.
Anyway, back to Alien and Predator.
Sorry, yeah.
We're nearly finished. We've only got 2 left. Right, so number 2, according to the internet rankings, number 2 is Alien.
Same.
I have Alien 3 as my number 2. That's how much I rate Alien 3. That's how.
Okay.
And there's a very specific reason for this. I had Aliens as 3 because with Alien 3, with the assembly cut, it turns into it just becomes quite epic and quite thoughtful, and it's so much more than just a horror film.
Yeah, I think.
Whereas the definitive version of Aliens now seems to have become the special edition, and I have a lot of issues with the special edition.
There's another version coming out. There's a 5K version coming out, isn't there, this year?
The 4K version's been released, and it's people are not happy because it's not. They've cleaned up all the film grain. But we'll talk about that in a minute.
Colourful and bright, isn't it?
Yeah, we can talk about that in a minute. But for now, so Alien.
Alien
is number 2 on the internet. I was shocked when I was doing this. I assumed it'd be the other way around. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert: Aliens is number 1, obviously, on the internet. So yeah, so we'll do these as
Aliens and Man War too.
Yeah, I had Alien as my number 1.
I can understand that though, because your preference and my preference, although we both love the same movies, you're more clinical and more.
You've gone for the
I'm going to hit it with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, you've gone for the fun. I've gone for the atmosphere. Yeah. But they're both. I mean, everything. The first 4 movies on this list are pretty much fucking flawless, isn't it?
Definitely.
We're
Aliens, Alien, Predator, Prey. I'd even go as far as push it to 5 and go Predator 2.
Oh, do you know what? Yeah,
because I mean, you can't have Prey without Predator 2. Really, can you?
The gun ties them together, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, so
Yeah.
all my notes I've written for Alien is perfect movie. There's nothing to really talk about. It's just a masterpiece, and I don't use that word to be sort of hyperbolic.
No.
I mean, there is literally nothing wrong with it.
Look at when it came out, 1979, the dawn of the 80s.
Yeah.
The dawn of the action movie era.
Yeah. It's aged very, very well.
Yeah. And even, because we went and watched the 30th anniversary of it, didn't we?
We did. We had a lovely time. That was in fact cinema.
And I've never seen it in the cinema before. I'd only ever seen it on like VHS or DVD. And watching it it was the extended version, wasn't it?
I think it might have been the director's cut with the extra few scenes.
It's only like 14 minutes or something like that, isn't it?
Oh, if that, it's like an extra like 3 or 4 minutes. It's very, very minimal.
But yeah, watching it in the cinema,
it's a completely different experience, isn't it? It's unreal.
Yeah, the atmospherics as well that come with it, and it's
so much more immersive on the big screen.
And it gives you that. Although it's like the dawn of the 80s, it's still got that Stanley Kubrick Space Odyssey kind of feel to it, where everything's still.
The opening scenes are in the sleep chambers where everything's white, and in the medical bay where everything's white.
And then I think now, if you look at the new Romulus trailer,
aesthetically it looks very similar, doesn't it?
It is, and you can't fault it. And if that's the route they're going to go with it, hopefully 100% perfect.
We can both hope, fingers crossed.
And if I had to throw Romulus in this list,
as it stands,
they'd all be above slight teaser trailer.
They'd all be above the Predator. It'd be slap bang in the middle, just out of a punt.
I'd put it in 6.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be better than Prometheus and Covenant.
Yeah, and I mean,
or at least on par with Covenant. It's not going to be worse than the recent ones, surely.
Yeah, I'd definitely slip it in at 6 and then see how it plays out.
Yeah,
and then maybe adjust me rating with it.
It will be interesting to look at this list in like what 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Is it in June, July or August? Is it? I think yeah. So it'll be interesting to go back in this list.
It could even
because that will be the 14th movie. So it'll be interesting to see where it sits.
It could even end up at 14th.
We'll have to refer to this when we do the review of the movie. We'll refer back to this footage.
Yeah. We'll timestamp that bit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's not. Yeah, when like I say, it's 10 out of 10. There's nothing. There's nothing you can mark it down on. It's aged perfectly. There's only the scene at the end when it turns into a rubber doll. When it falls on the ship. But apart from that, it's aged perfectly.
It's just a brilliant film. Aesthetically pleasing, character building brilliant. Character backstory, not much there, is there? But it gives you enough.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be. Really, their interactions are spot on. There's a lot of ad-libbed dialogue as well.
Is there?
Yeah. There's a lot of scenes in the engine room when Ripley says, "Why don't you just fuck off?" Apparently, a lot of the stuff between Brett and Parker is ad-libbed.
Wow.
Because they all got on set. Apparently, Sigourney Weaver didn't like Yaphet Kotto that much, but apparently it was because Ridley Scott. I think he stirred some shit between them,
really?
Because he wanted the tension to be on screen.
He wanted it real,
and it worked.
Wow.
And they both discovered that later.
Was this before the time of method acting? The directors,
I think
the writers.
I think method acting was. I think the forefront of that was like late 70s, early 80s. A lot of independent cinema in the 70s started that kind of method acting. So yeah,
they forced attention to create it. Really.
Yeah. But Ridley Scott, he's a clever fucker. He knew how to get the tension out the actors. And but yeah, they discovered this years later apparently, and then now they've Yaphet Kotto and Sigourney Weaver became like really sort of close, but at the time they didn't really get on because
what Ridley Scott had done.
Because Ridley Scott had basically told Yaphet Kotto to
be a cunt to her.
No, just annoy her. Just.
You would have thought that like, post movie, post production, he'd just gone up and like, listen, I forced all this by the way. It wasn't real. He actually likes him. You actually like him. So just be nice to each other.
So that's an interesting little thing about the movie. But
Ridley Scott. Well done.
See, I mark this above Aliens because Aliens to me, it's brilliant, but I think it's more the fun elements, the fun and adventure elements of it.
Yeah.
It's still fantastic, but the reason I've got Alien and then Alien 3 and then Aliens, that was a tough one. Like I say, the bottom of my list, I've measured it for fun and experience and the movie watching experience. I've tried to be as clinical as possible, and I think if I compare the assembly cut of Alien 3 to Aliens, the special edition for me falls down because all the added scenes kind of degrade it in terms of the pace of the story and some of the characters. I think it's the scene in the dropship when Hudson is saying about the badasses will protect you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That scene that's very cartoonish. You find out Ripley's got a daughter. That's the only part of the special edition.
Sat in the hologram.
Yeah, that's the only part that should have stayed in, as far as I'm concerned. Everything else in the special edition ruins the film. The auto gun scene. When they put them guns in the tunnels, it takes away any kind of tension, because in the theatrical cut,
it breaks the flow.
Yeah, after the crash, in the theatrical cut, after the crash, Hicks has shown them what weapons they've got. They've got hardly anything, and they've got hardly any ammo. They're at their absolute lowest ebb. This, shit just got real. They're in the they are in trouble.
It's building the tension, isn't it?
Yeah, but then all of a sudden in the special edition, he just says, that's the bad news. The good news is we've got these fucking robot guns and we're going to position them. And so you think, well, all right, they're safe now. They've barricaded themselves in, they've sealed themselves in, and they've got robotic machine guns. And
it's like, I seen this thing today about why people rewatch the same movies and rewatch the same series and episodes of certain things. It's to do with people who suffer with anxiety. So they don't like the surprise of not knowing what's happening. So they really rewatch same movies.
Is that why people do that?
Yeah, apparently so.
That's interesting.
So it's almost what they do.
Psychology.
It's almost what they do in this scene, where they build up your level of anxiety, and then they go, "Oh, but everything's gonna be alright because we've got these big machine guns."
I suppose.
And you can go, "Oh, God for that."
Yeah.
But you don't want that with this movie. You want to constantly on edge.
Yeah, my problem is the fact that
scare.
it just breaks up the tension twice, because twice the aliens attack and twice the sentry guns blow them to shit. Yeah. Now my problem, my main issue with the idea of these sentry guns is how many aliens how many colonists were there? 236. I mean, Ripley specifically states the exact number of
because they're all tagged, aren't they?
Yeah. I think there's like 230, 180. I'll put it on screen. However many there is, there's not that many. There's not enough for it to be a swarm of aliens. So when they're in the tunnels, they must have killed about 20 aliens in the hive attack.
They're killing themselves, aren't they, to waste the batteries? Because sacrificing themselves on the.
Well, we assume they're doing that.
Well, yeah.
I mean, even if they are, even Hudson says they're wall to wall in there, and we see a few of them get blown up. We hear them all screaming. Them guns look really powerful. So they must have, they're killing 30 or 40 each time. How many aliens are left by the time they attack
if the Queen's laying eggs, and she's only going to lay enough eggs to cover one body, like you say, there's only going to be 200 of them.
Yeah.
If they're sacrificing themselves in the tunnel, the sentry guns have got what? 500 rounds, something like that.
Something like that, but it's
something. And you'd think they'd go through all the aliens before they go, alright, Sam, all the aliens are dead now. We've got to deal with the Queen.
Yeah, that's what I mean. By the time Ripley fights the Queen in the special edition, there can only be a handful of aliens left. They must, about 40 or 50 must get killed on screen in the hive attack, and then when the attack operations. Yeah. The colonists would have managed to kill a few.
The whole movie, that when you attack them and
it's perfect.
Barricade themselves in that room.
Yeah, but it's just it's silly. It's for me it ruins the movie. So that's when I hold up that version of the film, which is this seems to be the definitive one now. I always think, well, no, it's not as good as the very first time I watched it, and it's not as good as the very first version that came out, because these little things ruin the pace, and they ruin the tension, and they ruin the logic of the story as well. Because without them auto guns, there are going to be hundreds of aliens outside the operations room, and they will be surrounded. Whereas, like I say, the special edition, there can only be a handful of aliens left.
When did the original director's cut come out?
1990, the special edition came out. So it was only 4 years after the theatrical cut. Obviously, Cameron said that it was for time, basically, and it makes it a bit more... It's still a long movie.
The movie flows well better without it.
Yeah.
Definitely. And in the 90s, when I don't even think there was a demand for director's cuts, then was there?
No, it
was
was.
Saying,
it was more
rare.
rare.
Director's cuts as they are now.
Yeah, it wasn't studio driven. It will have very much been the directors sort of want it to be released, and then the studio see pound signs and think, oh yeah, we will, because it would have cost them a lot of money to re-release stuff. And
nowadays it's just like, yeah, we've got the original version and we're going to make another version of it.
Yeah,
for extra pennies later on.
Yeah,
it's the franchise, right?
It seems to be the norm now. You expect streaming releases to have to be extended cuts.
But like I was saying, it just seemed pointless for its time to release a director's cut with what is, like you say, a really ruining version.
Yeah, I mean that's just my personal thing. So, like I say, when I've tried to measure them on a purely artistic level, technical level, I think Alien 3, it just about pips Aliens. But in terms of enjoyment, obviously Aliens is so much more fun than Alien 3. Alien 3 is a bleak, it's a bleak movie. But I love that. I just love the look of it. I love the soundtrack. I love the actors. I love the story. But it's, like I say, this is we're down to fine margins now. This was this was very, very difficult. So I thought, and I knew you'd have Aliens as number one.
Yeah.
And I thought, fuck it. Well, I'll throw a hornet. I'll throw a hornet's nest in there.
I had three rankings. So I had the overall rankings. I've got a Predator ranking and I've got an Aliens ranking.
You were determined to get these.
I had to get them in. Sorry,
this is going to be a fucking nightmare to edit.
So you don't need to do any editing. I just got to spill them out.
Okay? No, my ADHD will not allow me to not edit this bit. Okay. So yeah.
I'll do it quickly. My Predator ratings: Predator, Alien vs Predator, Predator 2, Predators, AVP, and then the Predators.
Whoa! Say that again slowly.
From 1 to 6.
Yeah.
I hadn't put Prey in this, but I'm going to put Prey in. At number 2, okay. So on my Predator ratings, I've got Predator, Prey, Alien vs Predator, Predator 2. These were my original ones.
You put Alien vs Predator
I know,
before Predator 2. Oh my god!
Predators at number 4, AVP Requiem at 5, and the Predators at 6.
I'm glad you had AVP Requiem above the Predators, because Requiem is the little movie that could. Yeah. It deserves a bit more love, I think. It gets more things right than the Predator.
Oh God, definitely.
The Predator gets everything fucking wrong, apart from the some of the comedy. Some of the bits in that movie are funny. Yeah. But it's so.
And then
so go on. What's your
Aliens rating? Aliens number 1, Alien number 2. Alien Resurrection number 3. I know, I'm going to switch it for Alien 3. So I've got Alien 3 at 3 and Alien Resurrection at 4. Prometheus and then Covenant. But yeah,
I can't believe you put Covenant right at the bottom.
It's not like a worst movie. It's just in my preference order.
So if you had to watch them in order of preference, you'd be happy for Covenant to be after Resurrection. And I understand what you've done there. You put Resurrection before 3 to get out the way. I kind of like that. Yeah.
But I mean, if you, like, going back to when we were speaking earlier on about watching it independently or as a standalone movie, I could quite easily just take it out. And not watch it at all, or watch it on like a Wednesday instead. Of Sunday.
If I was going to watch the Alien movies, I'd always just do it Aliens, and then Alien 3. I think as a trilogy, I just think it's perfect, because I think the most important thing to remember is that all these films, although some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are fucking fantastic, and some of them are a handful of them are absolute shite, absolute balls. They're all watchable. But they're all very, very different. They all look different. They've all got their own sort of vision. They're all done by by different filmmakers that have their own interpretation of how these things need to be put on screen. That theory obviously falls down when you get to Prometheus and Covenant, because they're back to Ridley Scott again, and it's not Ridley Scott in the 70s or the 80s. This is Ridley Scott doing his impression of George Lucas, whereas he seems determined to fuck things up. But anyway, if I had to watch these in order of preference, I have put Alien, Alien 3 and Aliens, but if I had to watch them, I'd always just do Alien, Aliens and Alien 3. Because it's just
you've got to watch them in order.
They're just fantastic. Yeah, and the storyline, it's just nice and compact. It's an open and shut thing, and you can do it in a day as well. You can't watch 13 movies in the space of
no, definitely not.
Yeah. So happy Alien Day, everyone. Yeah. Speaking of happy Alien Day, what's our friends over at what's his channel?
Oh, let me just double check his channel.
This is not a paid promotion, by the way. We're not getting paid fuck all for this. Only in love and adulation.
Yeah, we're just basically just
possibly
spreading the vibes.
Crisps.
Yeah, and if you want to send us crisp, that'd be great. You like crisp, don't we?
We do love crisps.
And Monster.
Yes. Well,
if Monster want to send us any Monster, that'd be pretty cool.
They'll send us a lawsuit.
Oh God, yeah, you know what they're going in.
Oh yeah.
With Monster and the issue.
God, remember that. That's a story for another day, chaps. The link's in the description.
They will be. Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. They are called the Northern Frights UK, and a friend of mine, Chris Collins, is in them. And we've also got Dr. Hughes. Sorry. So if you want to watch Chris's one, he's talking about real ghost hunting. You go to those haunted places in the UK, and they review it based on its like historicals or stuff like that. And on another level, he just does like place reviews and food reviews, and he's really funny. So yeah, Dr. Hughes _YT. So check them both out.
I'll put them on the screen.
Have a little laugh, like and subscribe, and also like and subscribe us as well, because we're the best ones.
We are.
Nothing's gonna change my love for you. You wanna know my now how much I love you. One thing.
You sit around here and you spin your little webs and you think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. In the whole vast configuration of things, I'd say you were nothing but a scurvy little spider.